All right. Well, we are back, huh? We're back at the 9 Club. Stop and chat. This time we have a special returning guest, Mr. Tony Hawk. Yes.
Woo!
Let me first start. How are you, bro? Everything good?
Straight out of lockdown. I'm good, actually. I really can't complain. Everything is crazy and absurd and scary, but I still get to ride my skateboard and hang out with my family, so I'm not complaining.
I love it.
For myself.
I love it, man. Let me first start off by saying, thank you so much because, you came on our show for the 100th episode. You drove up here. You played video games with us on Two Dudes, which you beat me like to a pulp. I had no chance against Tony Hawk in his own game.
Exactly, dude.
But and then to stop and chat, and I just want to say thank you because it just affirms our belief. Just skaters supporting skaters. Is what we're all about over here.
Sure.
So thank you, Tony.
Of course, it's always the priority.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's all we got, man. I just wanted to say thank you, and this will be the easiest podcast.
To come down here and settle that up.
No. But seriously, though, we do appreciate everything you do for skateboarding and us too. So thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my honor.
So what's been going on? I mean, we are, the lockdown thing and all this stuff, but you've still been kind of going out and doing stuff. You went to that was it in Houston, the ramp jam thing?
Yes.
What was that?
Well, I went on the tail end of it. I didn't want to go in the middle of all the hectic session just because I knew that it was only going to add to more people showing up. So we went on the last day of it, which was more like an optional, hey, let's still skate on Sunday even though the event's over.
Gotcha.
So that was my way of lending support and getting to be part of it without actually getting into the crazy, Mount Trashmore session.
But it was rad because Christian Hosoi was there. There were a lot of OG legends.
Oh yeah, no,
incredible.
It was if you build it, we will come.
Yeah. There you go.
That's
We're a dying breed.
I love it, man. Yes. When you're out and about, I could imagine, everybody wants to come up and take photos of you and all this stuff, and you're so gracious, but do you try to little distance, or are you worried about anything like that? Because listen,
sure, it's always a worry. I think these days there's a little bit more understanding and respect for that.
Yeah.
We went on a road trip over the summer in July where we were driving around sort of the Northwest, Montana, Wyoming, South Dakota, and we went to a couple skate parks on the way just because all my kids skate. And so once we show up at a park, the word would spread. I was with Riley too. And so people started coming. And after the third time we did that, we were like, we can't do this anymore because there was no concern. But that was early on. It wasn't like it is now, with ICU rates and hospital bed
capacity
lacking. And so, but it was pretty... it's just you have this heightened sense of concern that you never have had before, and it's such a strange existence.
It is.
But for sure, in places like South Dakota, people were just like, "Bro, what's up? Give me a hug." And I was like, "Dude," and I remember distinctly one guy saying, "Oh, come on, man, you're young. Who cares?" Basically,
that's a compliment, though.
I'm gonna give you COVID. Doesn't matter.
It's all good.
We got a hug.
Jeez, dude.
Still, even now, somebody will come up, "Hey, Chris," and they stick their hand out to shit. I'm like, "Are you up on current events?" I don't. This is bro.
Yeah, they just get excited.
I think what I have learned, especially in the last couple months, is how to navigate, and also when you're doing shoots. I did a shoot today for National Geographic.
Wow.
And you got to have a current negative COVID test. They check your temperature on the set. Everyone's in masks except whoever's in front of the camera.
Right.
And that is the state of things. When I did Ellen, this was a couple weeks ago, I got tested on Saturday, the PCR test, the deep one. I got results on Sunday, negative. I went to the set on Monday, and they made me test while I was still in my car again.
Jeez.
Like an instant test, right?
An instant test, yeah. And then only then do they allow me on the set.
No studio audience.
No.
That's got to be a little weird.
Well, it was weird. They had these they had these video screens of people, like
Oh
life-size
my
video screens.
gosh.
Okay.
But then they had other people sprinkled throughout it, so it didn't look so strange.
Oh, so they had,
It just looks strange anyway. It's all so
shit.
strange.
they had a half AI and half real life audience.
That's what it sounds
Wow.
like.
I did a game show recently. I don't think I can talk about it yet, but I'm on a game show, and it's pretty well known, and there was no audience, and it was super strange.
But that's a weird thing, is because like Ellen is it's such comedy based, right? And she gets laughs,
Right.
and the guest gets laughs, and it must be a really almost awkward feeling when somebody tells a joke and it's
Yeah,
crickets.
for sure.
That's got to be a
Yeah,
weird feeling.
well now they're planting staff in those places.
They did the fake laugh.
Wow.
When
They need
I
Kelly,
did this-
dude. Kelly can fill
when
in.
I did this game show, they had a bunch of their staff all in the audience, and they were all
Ready to laugh.
forcibly laughing at jokes.
The good old staff
So they
laugh.
felt okay about it.
If you guys need a laugh, just give me a call. I'll laugh at anything.
yeah.
Dude.
We'll send him we'll send him a laugh track, dude.
Yeah, there you
We'll send him a
go.
laugh-
He's good at laughing.
But it's funny that you mentioned the game show and all this stuff, because you've got to do some amazing stuff. You know what I mean? Millionaire, Masked Singer, like all these amazing things you got to be a part of, right? My question to you, and I think I know the answer, but I'm going to guess. But do you ever get nervous anymore doing these things? The only game I can imagine you getting nervous on was Millionaire, because you're literally it's on you, it's quiet, and these questions are coming at you. Is that
I think I realized on this last one that I don't get nervous like I used to, and it benefits me so much more.
Oh,
Because whatever, I wish I could talk about it, but they haven't aired it or anything. But
Okay.
I pretty much killed it on this game show.
wow,
I love it.
But when I was on Millionaire, I was pretty new to doing that kind of stuff.
right?
And kind of new to any kind of celebrity, whatever, or television. So I was extra nervous and super self-conscious about how I looked or what I said. And now that I've been through all that, I'm way more relaxed. And I mean, I was on the show with Leslie Jones. Like, you can't. You better be on your toes.
Sure. I mean, I just think that's a nervous environment. You got Regis Philbin there, rest in peace, and you got all these, and also
For sure, every time, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, every other show that I've done like that was. Yeah, it's nerve-wracking because you don't get another shot at it. The hardest one for me was, Are You Smarter Than a Sixth Grader?
Oh yeah, I could imagine.
an amazing show.
That's some pressure.
Because already the setup is that you're an idiot. You can't pass elementary school
Basically.
with these questions. And so already you're under that, like, oh, I hope I don't mess up. And luckily I picked one of the kids, and he is just like this super genius.
I love it.
Wow.
I love it. Plus,
So
you got Jeff
he led
Foxworthy
me to
there.
the
Who's
win. Yeah.
a professional ball buster, so he can,
Right.
he can really.
When you go on these shows like Ellen, do you get a chance to like hang out with her at all beforehand or after?
It all depends on the show. I did not on Ellen, but you can't compare now to what usually would be.
Yeah, no,
True.
of course.
And on Ellen, I was a surprise to the guest that they had on. So they had the guy on. You guys have seen him. He fitted his motorized skateboard with a wheelchair.
Yes.
You guys see him? He cruises
They
down the
said that
boardwalk.
recently. Yeah.
Totally.
Evan, I think. Evan Lane. And so they had me surprise him on the set. So I wasn't able to meet anyone in the first place like that. But other shows for sure, like I did Colbert a long time ago, and he comes in and hangs out for a little bit, says hi and whatnot.
Love that show.
That's awesome.
I mean, just meeting somebody like the guy Evan must be. I mean, that makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah,
Just
we
being
went
able-
out in the parking lot, and skated together, and he towed me around.
So sick.
So sick.
And he was hauling ass. I was like, dude, I'm getting speed wobbles, and I can keep my hips tight. So I had to let go at one point.
He's
Go
skitching on the
fast.
back of a wheelchair,
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
a speed wobble.
I was, yeah.
Amazing.
Wow. But going back to the Millionaire thing, because you won $125,000, and the Millionaire
Oh yeah.
was
Well, okay. So this question right here, that was worth $250.
for the Wonder Woman. What popular
Yeah,
night
and
is that Wonder
there's
Woman?
no way. Who played Wonder Girl?
Oh, Wonder
Oh wow.
That's a
Fucking
shoot.
name.
That's a shot in the dark for me.
What's your
too.
guess?
I was going to say B, so I would have gotten that wrong.
There you go.
But the 125 grand you won was what you started the Tony Hawk Foundation with. Is
That's
that right?
true. Yes.
So
Yep.
Wow.
that's
so rad.
incredible.
It was. It was
start.
incredible. It was a good start.
Yeah.
And we've had a good run.
Still having a good
Yeah,
run.
yeah,
But the
Yeah,
name's changed now. What's the name of it?
Yeah, the skate park project.
The Skate Park Project.
I changed it mostly because one, there was this false sense that somehow I was funding it because it's the Tony Hawk Foundation. So people were not inclined to give money because it was like, well, you pay for it all. It's your foundation.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was
okay.
like, no, this project is bigger than me. This is for skate parks all over. And I don't have that kind of money anyway, but it was more that we want to involve the communities and other resources to get involved so they feel like there's a sense of ownership. I mean, that's what we've been doing for almost 20 years.
Totally.
Yeah.
But now that we've changed the name, that mission is much more clear.
Yeah.
And also, not that I wouldn't, but not every single thing requires my presence.
Sure.
And
Exactly.
that got overwhelming to me. Anytime there was a press thing, a meet and greet, any kind of event, I had to be front and center.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just kind of, I was losing all my time.
It's a lot. Yeah.
When did that name change?
It changed about 6 months ago, maybe. No, I think it was before the.
I think it was right before.
We've been trying to do it for a long time, but it's real hard to change the name of a nonprofit.
Yeah.
True.
I feel like
true.
it all kind of happened when you got on Vans.
Oh, that's
Oh,
true.
there you go.
Yeah. When you
That
got
could
on
be it.
Vans.
They're just coincidences.
Coincidence.
Not one was related.
Okay.
I mean, but
okay.
that, what better time? There you go.
And we'll talk about Vans in a minute, but I wanted to just tell you a quick funny story because I stream video games from time to time, and I was playing this flight simulator game, and I was taking requests from the chat. I was like, I'm going to land in front of your house and stuff. And this kid, Hawaii, this little kid, he was like, oh, I live here and here, and I'm flying over. This must sound insane to you, Tony, but I'm flying over his it's like a little neighborhood, a little I'm like, you live in the cuts. He's like, yeah, but they're just building a new skate park here. He's chatting, and I'm like,
sick.
oh, that's awesome. I'm like, Tony Hawk Foundation? He's like, yeah, Tony Hawk. So stoked.
That's amazing, dude.
And I just thought that was so rad that in this little community in this Hawaiian island, there's the Tony Hawk building a skate park.
Yeah.
I thought it was amazing.
I mean, it's definitely the proudest work that I do.
Yeah.
Or the proudest involvement I have with anything. We can't take credit for everything. I mean, if our name is attached to it, it's very likely that we donated anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000.
Sure.
But it's more that our endorsement or our validation of that park
That stamp, yeah.
gets it finished
Absolutely,
or gets it
yeah.
more funding. And so that's the whole base of the foundation, is that it's once we approve of a project or say, yeah, this is worth getting into, it kind of falls into place. And so that's worth more than just any money we give into it.
Totally. But that, hey, even if it's 5,000, that's 5,000 that they didn't have. That's
For
that's
sure.
a double
yeah,
set.
But
right
like
there.
I said, our
Yeah.
funding is, that's the biggest challenge of
Sure.
the foundation, because there's a huge need, and we just don't have that much income.
Right.
That many donations. Actually, the biggest fundraiser we've had in recent years, almost of all time, was this thing that I did with Stevo with the doubles photo, double wall ride. We raised $500,000 signing those.
Wow.
I saw photos, and you guys were literally sitting there for days signing those
12,000.
things. 12,000. You signed 12,000
Yep.
photos.
Yep.
How did
There
you
came
do
a point where Stevo was just like, yeah, dude, just keep selling them. Let's go.
That's it. Yeah, that's him.
And so at some point we're like, let's go to 1 million. We're like, yeah, dude, let's do it. And so he just kept selling them.
Oh my
And then he would drive down from LA and deliver what he had signed to me. And there were just these boxes and stacks of them. And at one point he kept selling them. He brought me this giant box, and I said, how many is that? And I'm thinking he's going to say 8,000 or something. And he's like, yeah, dude, if you sign these, we got 4,000. And I was just like, we got to stop selling them. Because at some point we were so far behind the demand
Sure.
that it's embarrassing how much longer it's going to take people to get them once they order it.
Right.
So We basically cut it off at 12,000, and that was exactly $500,000.
That's incredible.
Wow.
But I mean, hey, I'm so thankful to Steve for he's the one. Like he created the storyline of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He created the video. He's got the audience. They're engaged. People signed up right away to buy him. I mean, it was really like because of all of his effort, and I can't thank him enough because we lost a lot of our donors and a lot of our income to the foundation this year for obvious reasons.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Stevo's a good dude. We had him on the show also. He's such a skate rat too.
Oh,
He's
totally
such a
is.
skater at heart. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And
the
he's so hyped to be back skating.
oh my God, the photo was great of you guys.
Yeah.
Double wall
Oh,
ride.
I mean, it was hard.
Did he? I was going to say it was probably harder for
it
him.
seems simple, but yeah, I was trying to go frontside over someone and also if either one of us bailed, it just completely fell apart.
Yeah, sure.
We were both putting each other in great peril if one of us bailed.
I know. I can imagine like the person on the bottom, if they bail, that person on the person on the top, if they bail, then there's it's a double
Yeah,
whammy.
It was scary.
Well, hey, congratulations on that. Wow, Steve-O.
Well, thank you.
Steve-O, $500,000.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
I gotta have him do
Very
a
impressive, yeah.
fundraiser for the 9 Club.
I mean,
I could do a wall ride.
Yeah, I don't know if you get as much interest if it's not for charity, but go for it.
I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding. Let's talk Vans. Vans, dude, congratulations,
Yes.
dude.
Yeah,
Back
congrats.
Thank you.
home. How many years has it been since you rolled for Vans?
Well, I was never really officially on Vans
Really?
as a kid. I would get them, and every once in a while I would get free ones, and I was stoked on that.
Okay.
It wasn't until Airwalk came along that I officially had a shoe sponsor.
Oh, wow.
And that's what you based your
So-
the Lakai shoe off of, was the Airwalk, right?
Yeah, the prototype.
Yeah, the prototype. Yeah.
But I was proud to wear Vans. I mean, there's plenty of documentation of me wearing.
Totally.
I mean, I remember I begged my dad to drive me to the Vans store to get my first pair of low tops because it was in Skateboarding magazine. It was the first skateboard shoe. I mean, I wasn't skating that long, and I was young enough to be like, oh my God, there's a skateboard shoe. I have to have that because I was wearing Keds.
Keds.
Oh, wow.
Kmart, baby.
I was gonna say, like, aren't they very? They're just fabric. Keds, right?
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I don't.
no, those shits
Well,
will
it was
tear
either
right
that or
through.
running shoes. You know, at the time there were no skate shoes, so
Yeah.
you either wore those or you wore running shoes. And my dad was a Kmart shopper, so I had Keds. And then when Vans came along, I made him go buy me take me to go buy a pair. And then I got you guys are too young to know about this, but they didn't have high tops back then, so they had ankle guards. Oh, so you get the low tops, and then this thing you strap on over your foot, and it kept padding on both sides of your ankle.
That's
Kind of like a shin guard.
Mostly for shark bite.
Right.
It wasn't giving you protection from twisting.
Yeah.
It was just for shark bite.
Those
and it was
boards
just like-
were beefy back then too.
I know,
They
but
would get you.
that was the state of things. And so I had Vans low tops, I had ankle guard accessories, like I was Johnny come lately. I looked like this this morning.
So what Vans shoes were you skating back in the day? Like, was it all kinds of Vans
The high
shoes?
tops, the skate high tops.
That was it.
Same. That's what I ride now on vert.
See, now it's interesting because you said you never was on Vans, but there's so many, like you said, documentation of you. It just kind of, you just,
Well, that was
like
that
assumed.
was my choice.
Right.
Like, through the years, when obviously when I didn't have a sponsor, and I could get them for free. I mean, I'm not, I don't want to mince words there, but when they would give them to me, that was it, my high tops. So, there's a lot of photos. I think I was the odd man out in Animal Chin because everyone else was wearing Jordans.
Okay. You had your
That's so true. Yeah.
I was wondering how the conversation started for you to ride for Vans again, or for the first time.
It mostly through doing the Vans Park series.
Okay.
Because I was doing the commentary, and it didn't bother me so much, but there was a separation there where I wasn't a Vans employee or a Vans rider, so I would come in and do the commentary. I'm not wearing the gear. I wasn't doing the extracurricular stuff that all the Vans team was doing. And then after that first year of doing those events on air, they said, well, why don't we talk about making this official? And
That was like the ploy to get you right there. They got you.
yeah, it didn't happen all at once though.
No,
and to be honest, I was still weighing options. I was still, because I felt like at some point I'm not bouncing around sponsors anymore. I'm way too old. This is like, I got to set up for a future.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like I gotta find something that's much more stable and secure in my life. I loved doing stuff with Lakai. It was a blast. Like,
We loved watching it too.
Yeah.
We loved
Yeah, it was
watching
It
it.
was so fun. It
Yeah.
was so fun traveling with those guys. It was fun being on the same team as Riley.
Yeah.
Like because of that, I got to travel with Riley again.
So sick.
Yeah.
So I'm really thankful. It was hard to sell a vert shoe. What can I say?
Well, we're stoked for you. Hopefully,
Yeah.
we'll see many Vans things. Maybe a shoe coming out. Who knows, right?
Dude, that would be awesome.
I don't know. Maybe I can get a call to action like that. Like you remember I Want My MTV where they had people calling the cable company.
We'll put the number
So
right
everyone
below
called
here.
Vans.
We'll put the number right
Everyone
below.
And ask for that shoe.
Tag them,
That's it.
dude. Tag them.
Just bombard them with emails, tag them, DM them.
Don't worry.
Let's go.
We've got you. We've got you.
There's going to be a little bit of movement here.
Oh.
Don't even trip.
It all started here. Yeah.
No, but it's so rad. It's so rad to
is.
see you, on
I don't want,
Vans.
you know what though?
It's-
Also, I don't want to skip ahead of the line. There are people that there are awesome skaters that have
Yeah.
been on Vans for a long time that deserve a shoe, and just
Oh,
because
yeah.
I swooped in doesn't mean that I should trump,
Yeah, but at the end of the
their-
day,
their
you're
chance.
the godfather of skateboarding. At the end of the
Straight
day,
up.
so they gotta just bow down and just wait. It's all good. It's
I'm
all
going to the
good.
front of the line at the club, and the velvet rope. Just,
Yeah, who is this guy? Come
Happens
on.
all the time, Tony. It happens all the time.
No, we're just stoked, I
Yeah,
think
it's
it's just
super cool.
it's like you're back home, even though it's your home for the first time, but it's your home second time.
Oh, it's
you know what
I mean, with both of our
Makes sense.
our resources and our audience, I feel like there's a lot we can do just to help skateboarding, not to try to
That's what I love.
be competitive with other brands, but just more that we have a reach that is beyond just the hardcore skate crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And Vans, the thing that I love is I feel like our careers have paralleled, even though they're a company and I'm a person, where we have both had great success, but always the best intentions for skateboarding in general.
Right,
And I've always respected what Vans, no matter how big they got, skateboarding was their core.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that was the basis of their marketing, and I always thought that was really respectable.
Like they never sold out, quote unquote.
For
You know
sure,
what I
they
mean?
could've
Like they just
been-
kept going. They just kept
Yeah,
it, kept it core,
they
kept
could
it
have
going.
been the OP. They could have been.
Yeah.
No, they stuck
could've
to
been
the model.
Airwalk.
They stuck to the model.
They stuck to the model.
For sure.
We have a clip here. We have a few clips actually, but I this one I really kind of wanted to know what was going on. This is X Games 1996. I don't know if you recall this, Tony.
Wow,
but
you're digging deep here.
well, the reason why we pulled this is just why. I mean, you went from the you flew into the ocean off of a ramp.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know what was this planned? Did they know you were going to do this, or did you just see the ramp and you just see the opportunity and you took it?
I don't think I told them. I might have told one of the other skaters. Oh no, you know what? I did tell that guy that was coming to get me right there. I told him, and I said, "Hey, how deep do you think that is?" And he said, "Well, why?" And I said, "I'm thinking I'm gonna jump in it." And he's like, "I don't know." And he went and scrambled and got like a big rod, and then just put it down as far as he could. And he's like, "Well, it's at least this deep."
He got out of ride.
And so I was up on that quarter pipe looking at him.
Right. Oh,
And I was
gotcha.
like, all right, here I come. Let's do it.
Amazing.
That looked like a big drop on the
Dude,
other
I was going to
side.
say, because there's that piece of wood there. You have to clear like a dock as well. But you obviously knew you had it.
Yeah, I don't know,
'cause
whatever. I was young and,
I was there. No,
starved for
Raj was there. He was.
You were there? You were were you competing?
no, I was there. I was in the audience.
No way.
So rad.
He said that he just saw you fly.
Someone retrieved that board. I saw it making the rounds online recently.
Somebody. Oh,
Someone got that board.
No way!
Out of the
Wow.
bottom of out of the bottom of the bay or wherever it landed because
did it have barnacles on it and stuff? What the hell?
no, they must have got it right after because someone said, "Hey man, was this your someone said this is your board from X Games and they showed me a picture of it and I was like, "Yep, checks out. Airwalk sticker like that."
No way.
Damn.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Trying to put that thing on eBay. He's trying to get flip
know,
that thing.
right?
Yeah. I just thought that was a funny clip because you don't see that in skate content. You don't see somebody flying into the ocean off of a ramp.
So
in their
right
run.
after that, we did an airwalk tour in Australia, and I'll never forget. We were at Pizzey Park, and they have a vert ramp that is kind of in this weird marsh area, and half the time I was skating, there was one guy up front the whole time yelling, "Jump into the water!"
Oh my!
Jump into the water! Like
It's not the same
to
conditions
the point
here,
where
bro.
he was just a broken record, and it was like, dude, I can't make it to the water.
But yo, how come you jumped? I mean, obviously it was for fun, but why did you do that? Like jump in there? Like what,
know,
were you?
it's just-
Were you over the con? No, were you like?
I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
And look, it made the highlight reel. We're still talking about it.
I know.
years later.
So
So,
1996 right here.
Well, some
Yeah.
people, some people really.
well, why aren't you playing that McTwist that I did in this street contest, huh? Why isn't that the highlight here?
Which contest? We'll pull it up right now.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, I mean, some people. I mean, if you're competing right there, I didn't know if like you were. If what the
it
contest.
was the end of my run. That was the very end of my
Oh,
run.
I see. I thought you just started the line off like that. That would
That would be amazing too.
That's why,
You could probably
and
score.
That's
score
why I
some
took a
points.
little pause because I was getting tired. I had to climb up to that ramp.
Yeah, actually,
Okay.
before we cut it, before that, it was this whole run. It was
Oh, I
this
see.
whole thing. Yeah.
And I literally did a McTwist in that run.
Amazing.
I'm sorry we cut that out.
This is the highlight right here.
But
And that was the street contest. That was street
Wait a
96,
minute.
baby.
Wait a minute though. We do have a McTwist. Hold on. Right here, Tony. Come on, man. You thought we wouldn't put a McTwist in
yes.
there? With the milk.
God.
Ooh.
He's got milk.
So
No,
you
wait.
want the story behind this one?
Yeah, because we were wondering if you actually practiced with the glass empty or you just said, fuck it, I'll just go for it.
Here's what happened. They were doing this promotion with Got Milk,
Yeah, I was about to
obviously,
say, yeah.
and they had a swimmer. Katie Delecki swam the length of an Olympic-sized swimming pool right there.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have it.
So they were like,
Which this is
the clip we
incredible, by
have."
the way. This is
Right.
incredible.
So they presented this to me and they said, this is what we're starting with. You got to figure out something to do skating. And I said, oh, well, I'll just try to skate with a glass of milk. And so I tried for about an hour to do 3 or 4 tricks on the ramp.
Holding the milk.
All pretty basic, but something. And I could not make it through without spilling a little bit each time.
Gotcha.
And so I said to Jared and Cameron, who were shooting, Cameron's on the flat there, I said, hey, why don't we just do a McTwist and it'll explode?
It'll just fly
Like,
everywhere.
that'll be the clip, because it obviously, it keeps spilling. It's not going to happen. And so I just said, I'll do a McTwist. It'll probably like explode in my face and that'll be the clip. And I failed at it. So I tried it with a glass of water and knee slid out and the water stuck in the glass.
Sure.
And so they weren't watching me. And I said, hey, you guys, it didn't spill. And they're like, yeah, right. And I said, no, watch. And I did it again and bailed again with the water, knee slid down. And we're like, holy shit, this might work. And so I said, let's just try it. And that was it. One and done.
sick.
One and done with the milk.
Force.
Yep.
That's
Love it.
incredible.
Yep.
But who would have thought? I mean, you take a glass and you.
It's hard as a vert skater to just tail drop to a 540. So that in itself is a little dicey.
You need
And
to.
so when I dropped in, you can see me trying to push so hard for speed that I kind of missed the pump.
Oh, interesting. I didn't even notice.
Yeah. I mean, here now we're just tearing this thing apart.
No, I love it though because we thought it
So-
was like planned out this whole thing and here.
No, see, watch. I was trying so hard. I missed that pump right there.
I didn't even
My
think
upper
about
body,
that.
But I had enough speed, so.
It worked out.
But I
The cool
love
thing about it was that was 22 years after doing my original Got Milk ad.
Wow.
this one.
Wow.
Yep.
Was this an actual photo or was this posed?
Yeah, if you turn it counterclockwise, it's an indie to fakie.
Oh, and you were looking at the camera with the milk mustache.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Was that Elmer's glue? Did they put the Elmer? What is that?
No, it's like a smoothie.
Oh, so it's actually edible.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Annie Leibovitz shot that photo. I was hyped.
Wow. I always thought that it was like, Elmer's glue or some type of like, movie magic stuff, but it's actually smoothie.
No, there was a guy that was his whole job on the shoot was to to mix it the right texture and then paint it on.
I just love that you
He was a
thought
mustache guy.
this whole thing would just explode, and here you are.
Yeah, it just works.
It's science.
Yeah.
you
It's
know,
gravity. There you
basically.
go.
Yeah. Greatest things come from kind of an accident, you know? Look at this. I love it.
Yeah, it really was. Like once we got that, I would go, oh, I think we got our shot.
We're done.
That's
So
it.
good.
Yeah, I got to do a line. Fucking one trick and
But
done.
I'll send you the line was pretty disappointing. I did send it to them because they wanted 2 clips, and they were
Okay.
like, that doesn't really work.
We'll use this
You
one.
spill.
We'll use this. It is. I mean, it's incredible. You know,
Yeah.
who would have thought? Never seen that
Thanks.
before.
Thanks. I mean, I know people have controversy over milk in itself, but
Right.
I drink milk
Eh,
my whole life.
it is
and
what
still
it is.
drink it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Was it
In
too?
cereal every morning, and
It's all
that's-
Oh, Captain
me.
Crunch. What do you?
As-
What
as
kind of
we all
cereal?
have.
Yeah.
I actually eat this kind of healthier. They're called honeyed cornflakes.
365 brand.
Is that what that is?
Do you get it at Whole Foods? Because I eat this. I ate the same thing. It's like a.
I get it at Gelson's, but I think they have it at Whole Foods. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What kind of milk? Like 2%
Whole milk.
whole milk?
almond milk.
Dynamite.
Oh,
You could drink 2%. No, what is it? You could drink whole milk.
Whole milk.
Yeah, low fat.
nice.
Low fat. Yeah, I'm an almond milk man myself. Vanilla almond.
I tried to go almond milk for a while. I thought that I had allergies to dairy, but it turns out I don't, and I wasn't a fan of almond milk in the cereal.
Too thin.
Yeah, it's just
consistency.
odd. I
It's
can't-
different.
Yeah.
It's different.
It is
Yeah,
different.
Yeah.
I used to drink it in my coffee, but now I just drink coffee black. So
See, I'm a black coffee drinker as well, and I thought I tried it with the almond milk, and I love almond milk, but it's too thin.
I didn't
The
like
milk thickens the coffee up even more.
but it's cool. I don't like. I'm not on some crusade. You know what I mean? Like this is that's just who I am.
this is just who you are.
Yeah, it's
just
you know,
milk.
like I'm down for healthy foods too. I eat plenty of vegan items.
Hey, speaking of coffee, though, Riley has a coffee shop in Costa Mesa, correct?
No.
Oceanside.
Oceanside.
Amazing.
Yep.
How's that going?
It's funny how those guys, well, Riley and Shay and his whole crew have become. They were already kind of were, but they are such coffee elitists.
They really are.
Oh yeah. I mean, I love good coffee, and I was an investor in Blue Bottle when it, before it went huge, and so I had appreciation for very high-end beans, but those guys are next level.
Are you just like, what are you talking about, Riley? Like, just
No,
give me.
I like it because I follow their lead now.
Okay. Do you ever get in
They
there?
started roasting their own beans, and you can buy them online now, so everyone can participate in the steel mill success. in
Steel
terms
mill
of-
beans
the name of it. Okay.
online. Wow,
have
that's
steel mill
incredible.
beans
So
online,
do they do it in?
I feel like
the
that's going to be their
bread and butter.
key to success.
Sure.
Because it's
Hey,
so
if you-
hard right now. Just keep a coffee shop open.
I mean, especially just one coffee shop in one location.
They do well. They have regulars and everything.
Oh, I'm sure.
They sell vinyl there too, but
Right.
they had to move the storefront up to the door for COVID.
Right.
And but Shay was in charge of roasting beans, and now it's kind of going off.
So do they do it at the store? Because you have to have a kind of one of those
No,
big
they do
machines.
it in a different place.
Gotcha. Okay, I was going to say. I wanted to congratulate you and Birdhouse winning the Skate and Create this year, 2020.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You
thank
guys
Dude, that was gnarly.
killed it. First of all, I everybody on the team killed it, but I need to give props to Sean Hale. This man, I grew up skating here.
He set the bar, so we all had to live up to that. That was the first night, right?
That was the first night of the whole
Yeah.
thing.
That was it.
This man went off of the West LA courthouse roof.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was super psycho, dude.
I grew up skating there. I mean, that's one thing that I would look
Hey,
at
I
all
went
the
up
time.
there, like, I skate mega ramps. I do gaps and stuff. I went up there, looked at it. I was like, hell no.
Oh, seriously?
Well, especially
Yeah.
the first time because they had no bottom part of the ramp, right?
Well,
they were-
and that sketchy ass, like, a bank that goes into a steeper bank. I was just like, no thanks.
But I mean,
None of
like
that looks okay.
they did that off a whim, right? I mean, they just had to construct something right there because the drop was too
I guess
severe.
Sean had talked about doing it for a while, and then once we went to that van concept, he said, let's go. And then they had built it without the down part ramp, which seemed absurd.
Oh my goodness.
And he obviously didn't do it. So I was thankful that he chose another night to do it. And then I was able to go up there and watch it live, and it was awesome.
Oh, so
And then the van got stolen like 4 days later.
No.
No,
Yeah.
2 days later.
wait, the van, really?
Yeah.
Where at?
Right in front of Mill's house.
Oh my God.
Because he left all the tripods and stuff inside of it, so I think that probably didn't help.
Oh no. So you guys had to get a new van to finish the whole thing.
We actually do have a team van, same one we used at Thrasher, King of the Road. So
Gotcha.
you can see that other van in some of the shots, and like the Thrasher stickers on the back are taped up.
Oh, there's
Modified.
So this
Well, it's
is
Transworld,
our usual. This is our King of the Road van.
Gotcha. And so you just decided to put it up on top of a vert ramp. That's pretty good. Like
get
that's
it
a
up
hell of
there?
a,
Yeah, well,
how'd
we
you get
did
that thing
that.
up
We
there?
did
a hell of a
that,
forklift.
We did that for the Boom Boom Huck Jam. We used to have a Jeep on top of the big quarter pipe, and that is actually the quarter pipe from Boom Boom Huck Jam. It's at Elliot's house. That's what we're skating right there.
Oh, seriously? Oh, so all that stuff
Yeah,
is...
I gave him the 20-foot quarter pipe from Huck Jam.
Oh, interesting. And so he added on to that.
So he made it wider. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And he added the jump and everything. But so that was me digging deep, trying to remember how I used to do that. But
You did it really
that thing's
well.
a lot taller than a Jeep.
Yeah, that thing's huge. Yeah, how did you get that thing up there?
Dude.
There's a forklift holding it up. You don't see it, but the
Oh, in the back.
there's a-
Okay.
it's actually it is holding it up right there.
Oh, I see.
Like we couldn't put that van is so huge. We didn't want to put it on the deck, so it's just sort of balancing close to the deck.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so yeah, I see the
can see it,
forklift,
yeah,
Yep.
the little
Yeah.
things. Oh, wow. So it's not even on the deck. I mean, that's a small
So-
deck anyway.
So Jamie Owens from Transworld shot a photo of that, and we made it into an 8x10, and then I sold those to reimburse Mills for his stuff and get all the team paid for doing it. And,
Oh, amazing.
It was a wild success.
Amazing.
Wow.
Well, it all worked out great. And the fact that you guys had Heath Kirchard and Jeremy,
That was
and Jeremy
that
Klein.
was the hardest part about the whole video.
Was lining those two up?
was trying to get them in the same place at the same time. With it, we only had 3 weeks to shoot the whole thing.
And then they repay you by throwing eggs in your face.
Well, I was presenting all these ideas to Jeremy, and he was not really into any of them because he felt like it was sort of cheapened what they had created in the first place.
Gotcha.
And so I said, what do you want to do? And he said, why don't we just drive up next to you and light you guys up?
Did you know that they were going to light you up in that way, or because you looked kind of bummed? you looked a little
I didn't
put
know
off.
there were eggs. I had no idea they had eggs.
And not to mention their van's on fire. Like, it's
Yeah, well,
incredible.
that was a given. I knew something was gonna be on fire.
right.
But I knew I knew they had fireworks. I knew they had fire. I didn't know they had eggs. Once the eggs hit, like my glasses, it hit me so directly between the eyes that my glasses cut my forehead.
Oh
No.
my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you don't look too happy. Yeah. You're just
And so
like,
then I knew the fireworks were coming, so I rolled up the windows real quick.
He's like, no more.
oh, so that was what
No, but it was perfect.
okay. So he did shoot off, right. Okay, that's what the fireworks.
Dang, he just
That's
fired his
sketchy,
egg.
too.
That is
Yeah.
sketchy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Heath and Jeremy Klein. It's
That was it. It was
incredible.
cool because Heath lives in Oregon now. He was
Oh.
on his way to Mexico, so he stopped there to shoot that. And Jeremy came, so they were there for maybe an hour.
Oh, so
We
sick.
got that, and then everyone went their separate ways.
But just having them in there was so rad. Just that
Oh yeah,
callback
no,
too.
I was so stoked they did it.
Oh my God.
You see him
I'm
for an
just so
hour.
thankful. I'm thankful they did it. And I'm thankful that they liked the video at least, because that's I just didn't want them to think that we were trying to cheapen what they've done.
Right.
Yep.
Or make a parody of it at all. What we did was we have reverence for what they did,
Oh my God.
and we were just trying to do it our way.
What was that? The end?
Yeah.
The end, yeah.
The end. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little Destroying America too, but it's mostly the end.
Sure. Oh, he did Destroying America. Right. I loved it. I just thought it was so sick.
Yeah.
Right when I saw this, I'm like, oh, God, these they won. They won. They won. This is it. You know, no disrespect to
There
all
were
the
some
other
good videos, though. I mean, I applaud everyone.
They were
else.
great.
It was
Yo,
some fun
there
ones
were
to watch,
some
yeah.
really heavy slams in that part too, dude. People's who man, I forget his. I'm sorry, I'm tripping on his name, but Reese, yeah, fell off the
Reese slammed
car,
yeah.
dude.
And then Jaws had his knee. That was the other thing. You know, we were dealing with Jaws was hurt. Clint was kind of hurt, and so you only have this window to do it, and we, you know, that's all we got.
amazing. You know, you guys absolutely killed it, and I was like stoked.
Hey, I was just stoked to be with other people doing something for once. I mean, I love all those guys, but haven't done anything. You know,
Sure.
in terms of doing a group thing. I mean, the closest thing I have had recently is sessions at my ramp, which I'm
Right.
super thankful for. But we, as the Birdhouse crew, we hadn't all been in the same place at the same time in over a year.
Well, you have a great crew. You have a great team. I mean,
Yes,
you guys
definitely.
are absolutely killing it.
They're a fun bunch.
They are, man.
They got Clive.
Clive,
A lot of misfits.
Lizzie. Congratulations, Lizzie, and they just got married. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I know, it's the power couple.
Seriously.
yeah.
She's amazing. I love Lizzie. Do you mind? We're still going over the video clips. Do you like it? It's fun. It's fun for us.
Sure.
Okay. it's fun. I love this. Listen, I know you've talked the 900 to death. We talked about it on our show, all this stuff. But when you did it again at 48 years old, what was that? What was that like? Was that just something that you needed to do, or what was the meaning behind that? You just wanted it, like, hey, I still got it. I need to do this 900 again.
I had been skating a lot right during that time, and I was doing some pretty big demos, and I felt like my spin was as good as it's ever been.
Oh, okay.
I mean, and when I say my spin, I mean like when I was doing 540s or 720s or whatever, I felt very confident with it.
Right.
And we were in Mexico City doing a demo just before this, and I just got hyped with the crowd, and I started trying them, and I started getting really close. I didn't pull it off that day because I was already so tired.
Oh, okay.
And then I just thought, you know what? If I'm ever going to do it again, I could do it now.
Oh.
And so I just set this day. That right there set me back. That slam kind of rang my bell. And also, like right there, I thought I had it, but my front foot slipped off.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, you kind
And
of.
I was fully
did.
committed. Like right there, I'm fully committed.
yeah.
Stand up.
There goes the front.
And then my foot came off, and then it was just. And so
Those quick ones are the ones that hurt.
made me
was the head,
question.
yeah.
That made me question if I should even do it.
Oh, really?
And the other thing is that we hadn't resurfaced the ramp yet, so it was super slick. And if you watch some of those in the beginning, a couple of those I probably would have made if the ramp was sticky, but I just kept sliding out. So it took me probably twice as long as I thought it would.
Okay.
And then when I finally made it here, you know, obviously it's squatty and I'm dragging my hand and whatnot, but it was like, okay, enough already.
It's
And
funny
you can
though.
see my wheels
Yes.
sliding even on the landing.
That's true. It's funny though, because the way that you did drag, you almost landed it almost identically to the one you did in the
Yeah.
contest.
I know,
You know what I
right?
mean? Like with the hand dragging and stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
Yeah.
It's
I
kind
didn't
of
think I was going to be able to stand up because the stand-up ones, there's always a risk of doing that overturn on the flat.
slipping out. Like you're still turning.
Not slipping out. It's you're like still turning.
Yeah.
It's kind of the biggest mistake that people make when they learn McTwist is that they just keep turning. So what I said, this is my son Spencer.
Yeah.
He was the baby at the X Games. That his mom was holding him when I finished it. Like when I finally did it and I hugged her.
Right.
He was the baby.
That's amazing
way.
that he
So-
can finally see it in person.
And so when I told my kids that I was doing this, he showed up and I was like, that's so cool that Spencer was there because he was there for the first one.
So cool.
Wait, how old
And
is he
now I
now?
can say he was there for the last one.
How old is he now?
He is 23.
Wow.
It just came full circle right there. Yeah, like literally.
No. He's 20. Wait, he's 21. Sorry, he's 21.
So 21, but still 20 is
Yeah,
probably
21.
20.
He's 21, yeah.
20 years ago you did that.
So
I
wild.
feel like he's got to be older than 21. He's been in college for so long, I lose track.
I love that. But that's amazing. Now, when you say the ramp was slippery, is it such a thing? Because when I was younger, I never skated vert. I never did all that stuff. But I would always hear stories about like, oh yeah, just mop it up with Coke. You ever hear that? You ever try? Is that a thing?
That can work for a little bit. And we actually sanded the ramp before this, so I did everything I could to make it rideable.
Okay.
But that surface right there, was
slick.
But that surface right there was like 14 years old.
Oh, seriously?
So it was doomed already. I put gator skins on it, and it's awesome now. It's like right now it's the perfect friction.
What's gator skins?
Yeah,
So,
what's that?
It's kind of like a skate light, but different compound.
Okay.
And I've found that it survives better indoors.
Wow.
I mean, that's why it's
So the
survived
thing about
14 years.
if you guys want to know, from what makes a vert ramp slippery is all the plastic from your knee pads. Because it coats into the grooves and the porous stuff in the wood, and then it just makes it slick, like it fills in all the gaps.
Interesting. I never even thought of that.
Never knew that at all. Wow.
Huh.
I was thinking for like the dust and just the debris inside the building.
That stuff doesn't help, but that stuff's more like you can wipe off dust. You can you can do other things, but the plastic, once it fills in all the gaps, it's kind of stuck there.
Wow.
Interesting. So having an indoor ramp, I mean, do you have somebody, or do you mop it often? Is that even a thing? Like we were saying, dust and all that, or
yeah, it'll help a little bit.
Yeah,
but we, like I said, the surface on it now is tight.
Perfect.
I don't even worry about it.
So you fired the ramp keeper.
Oh hell no!
They kept them. They just got new
product.
Product.
That ramp was built in 2002 by a staging company that makes concert stages for like AC/DC, Kiss, Britney Spears, all that. And then I connected them with who I thought was the best ramp builder in Europe. And I was like, you guys figure out how to do a vert ramp that'll go up and down fast.
Because that's what you were doing. You were building
that ramp for the Huck Jam.
Sure.
So that ramp can go up. The whole ramp will go up in 3 hours.
Wow.
You could disassemble and reassemble that.
You could disassemble it in probably 2 hours and put it all back up in 3.
Oh,
That's wild.
Sick.
Yeah.
One time we did a demo. We did a demo outside of Chicago, I think, where we did a demo after an arena football game. So you guys know arena football?
Yeah, it's tight quarters. It's very
tight quarters. Yeah. So what they said was, we want you to do a skate demo after the game. So after the game, we're gonna have you assemble the ramp on the field.
Wow.
And so we took half of the ramp. As soon as the game was over, our guys started assembling it, including Jerome, who you guys might know from Thrasher now.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jerome used to be my ramp guy.
That was your ramp guy?
That's amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so Jerome and a local crew started putting it together. We got the ramp up in 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So the crowd
means
just sat and
business.
watched.
Jerome
They were
means
amazed.
business.
Yeah.
Definitely does.
Yeah. So the crowd stayed in their seats, watched them build the ramp for 45 minutes, and then we started skating.
I mean, I think that's interesting, and I would stay and watch him build a ramp that fast.
Yeah.
That's a Guinness Book of World Records. Did you get that tested?
Yeah.
You could have an award right there. Jerome
And the thing
could have
about
a
my
plaque.
ramp is it's always perfect.
That's
amazing.
That's the best part, right? You know, you getting used to anything.
Yes.
You drop
No,
in.
all ramps have flaws.
Yeah.
One side's more vert, the side has more coping, whatever.
Right.
And I don't say that because I'm bragging. It's just the truth. Like my ramp is always flawless, and that becomes a curse for me because if I go to any ramp, I feel like I can't get used to it.
It's kind of like. Go ahead. Sorry.
We used to, like, when we were in the 80s and whatnot, all ramps were terrible. Mm-hmm. So you could ride anything, right?
Right.
And now I'm spoiled by this perfect structure, and I go elsewhere, and I'm like, dude, I can't get a good setup. That wall's sticky. The coping sticks out. Like, I'm such a spoiled brat now.
Well, it's kind of like, remember when street parks were popping up a lot and they were perfect?
Yeah.
And we go skate these like indoor perfect parks and we're like, now we're spoiled because now we go to the streets and we're dealing with all these imperfection cracks and this and that. And now we're just
I swear that's why Riley's crew, the Shep Dogs, why they rip on anything, because they grew up skating Carlsbad Skate Park. Just the worst part.
Worst part, right.
It's the worst part.
That's what I'm saying.
And they just made it their own. They made it work. And it's, it's Riley and it's Kirby and it's like Stephen Lawyer.
Killers.
The Rowan from down there too?
All those guys that destroy anything because they just rode shitty park their whole life.
That might be a new thing. We might do the 9 club parks, skate parks like Tony Hawk, but we're going to build shitty parks.
Real shitty.
And then everybody's going to be getting better because of us.
Breed monster skaters.
Monsters.
Yeah. Just like all big cracks everywhere.
I tell you what though, Tony, imagine, listen, I'm sure vert ramps aren't around as much as like all these skate parks are popping up, but imagine back in the day if you had access to all these skate parks, It's like when I was growing up, the closest park to Santa Monica was like Powell Skate Zone.
Yeah.
And I had to get somebody to drive me up there and do that whole thing. So we were just in the streets, Now these kids, they have a skate park every 4 blocks.
They got access to a lot of parks, bro. And that's why so many kids are so good. I speak on this all the time. I'm like, man, if I had access to these parks, and obviously we had our moment of just, obviously getting better and better, but like they have so many different options now, including the shit that we skated as we were growing up. So it's like they can pick and choose, you know? So it's
and you're seeing more all terrain skaters now too.
Yes, exactly.
It's like all these kids, they can do 540s and do a Smith grind down a 20 stair.
Remember when he was only street and vert?
Yeah.
You skated street, you skated vert, or if you were really out there, you skated freestyle.
Those are your options.
Yep.
But then it was
I believe, I really believe that Sheckler was the first park skater.
Interesting.
The first one to come out that was like, what is he? He skates everything. He's a park skater.
This is true.
Yeah. I don't think
that's
too
true.
Far off, for sure.
Sheckler's one of a kind too, man. That
Big
guy.
time.
Woo.
Big time.
Yeah, but all these kids
big,
now,
man. He's been good forever.
Yeah.
And still killing it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
Crazy, dude. Yeah, I love that, man. It's just so sick, the skate parks and everything. I just wish that I had that ability, because like you see kids like Zion and all these dudes, they kill it on every front. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Like I said, to skate a quarter pipe, I would have to drive 2 hours.
Yeah.
With my mom or somebody, like, please take me up there for the day. What am I going to do? I don't know. There's a train in the back. You can put pennies on. And, you know what I mean? Like, this is something that I am fascinated by. And I if I could do this, I would be terrified to do this, but I would do it. You and Jaws went up and did the 0 gravity. This is phenomenal. Have you seen this, Jerome?
No, that was fun.
This is so what so the plane goes up, right, Tony, and then the plane drops down at a certain angle to create that gravity.
So what you're seeing here is it does a parabola flight, so it goes up and it goes, and when it's going on its way down is when you have this weightless thing. But what you're seeing here is more like a third gravity.
Okay.
And that's when that was more fun because we had a ground, we had a horizon. And so you could do big ollies. Once we were in 0 gravity, no way is up. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, so
like
you would kind of become disoriented a little bit.
Like and
so it doesn't matter which way you know what I mean? You're just bouncing around and flying, and it's fun like that, but there was something about being able to ollie 3 feet, you know what I mean? And just do as many kick flips, or like I did a boneless backflip. I've never done a boneless backflip.
Well, I thought it was funny because the first try that it went up, let me rewind it. Jaws, he tries to do a kickflip and it literally goes like a quadruple kickflip or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like right here. Oh, wait, where is it? Okay, they're on the ground. They're getting ready.
Yeah, so the third body weight, the third gravity was way more fun.
Watch Jaws. He's like, whoa. Oh. He's like, whoa.
This thing is just going.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he did not know what to expect right there. So then
I've never done a Japan air from the flat ground.
Yeah. So they basically tell you, okay, settle down. We're going to go back up into regular gravity.
Yeah, because once the plane starts to go back up, then it's double gravity.
So you're being compressed.
So when you're laying
harder,
there, your head feels like it's 50 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Gotcha. Huh.
And then I don't know if
look at that.
Jaws puked
for days.
Jaws puked after our second zero gravity arc.
Into a bag, I hope.
His barf was in the air for a hot second, and then this plane started to go up, and it just splatted on the ground.
No, I would have thrown up too. I would have thrown up,
dude, for sure.
If I smell that stuff, I can't smell that stuff.
Luckily, they were ready.
They had a mop.
Yeah, it wasn't their first rodeo. They were ready for it. This one we were trying to spin each other.
Interesting.
Oh my goodness, dude.
How fun does that look?
It was
that
fun.
Just looks so. Were they concerned at any way about like the boards flying out and hitting certain things?
They actually had another group in the plane. So we had half the plane, and they had another group of tourists in the other half.
Oh, interesting. Oh, so you could pay to do this.
Yeah, you have to. Well, we had Sony paid. Oh, you like that Front Foot Impossible?
I did. I was about to comment on it. Yeah.
That came from my trampoline days. No, Sony offered to do it. Sony asked us to pitch ideas, and I was set up to do one of these flights about 10 years ago, and it ended up getting canceled because they had equipment malfunction.
Gotcha.
Luckily, I didn't go on the plane.
Yeah, jeez.
And so I always had in the back of my mind, I was like, hey, I was going to do that zero gravity thing if you guys want to do that. And they said, yeah, we'll pay for it.
So sick.
It's so much fun to use other people's money to do something like that.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And like Sony paid for that spiral thing I did on my ramp, that sideways spiral.
Oh yeah, we have that too. I think you talk about this a lot though, because this thing kind of went viral. I want to try this zero
that
gravity.
is definitely the most successful video thing that we've done from Ride Channel or anything.
Wow. Well, it's fascinating, because you do see those motorcycles going in their little cylinder, riding against a wall with the G-forces or whatever it's called. But just to
I wasn't. You know what I should have done? I mean, after that day, I knew I should have not built it into the ramp. I should have just made it a consistent radius, and been able. And then once it did the full 360, had it sort of even out to flat, because this was going from basically an 8-foot radius to like a 3-foot radius. So the transition got super small.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And that's why I kept crashing into it.
Jeez. Yeah, your body's being compressed into it.
Yeah, so it was like this weird elliptical transition going around. And that's why I just kept like hitting it. So I finally figured out that I gotta squat. Hey, you gotta save by the squat, Save by the squat. And plus the ramp was built in such a way that you had to dodge the top of the spiral going into it. Was that even an issue, or you just? No, not really. Okay. That wasn't that bad.
Because I think that would kind of, I'd have to dodge this thing and then find the line and then squat.
Yeah, it was more when I got halfway around and preparing for that right there. That was the hardest part by far.
So you're telling me that instead of building it into the ramp, you would build it.
I would just make a loop and turn it sideways if I did it again.
I got you. No 10 feet to 3 feet, no vortex.
Because I'm used to that after doing loops for so many years.
Right.
I would be used to that not having to, you know what I mean? Like the loop is just one consistent pump, basically.
So when Sony comes to you, said Sony paid for that. So when Sony comes to you and says, I want to do that, you're like, I have this idea, this loop on its side. Now, how a part of you are you in with the design, or do you have kind of engineers helping you out?
Well, Tony P is what he's like Rain Man. He's the ramp man.
Okay, he's a ramp man.
He's just super genius with anything ramp built. He's the one who was in charge of the Huck Jam ramp all the years that we did our tours on it. And now he's one of the best skate park builders.
Amazing.
And so if anything like that ever comes up, I just tap Tony P and I just was like, hey, this is what I want to do. And I could just see his mind already figuring it all out. And so he didn't let anyone help him build it.
He built the whole thing by himself.
He's like, I can't explain this to anyone. I just have to build it on my own. So he was in there for like 10 days, maybe a week, doing that all by himself.
Oh, and wow. So you just you just said, hey, I want this. I mean, obviously you'd go in and check on it and see how it's looking and see everything going on, right?
Yeah, I'd come in every once in a while, and he would just have this look of bewilderment. Sometimes he'd just be staring at it.
You walk in and I don't know what I would.
I'd walk in, he's just looking at it, trying to figure out the next move of what he's going to do. Because he had to blend that transition, and that was the hardest part. Is it was just going from this radius to a small radius, and blending it back into the vert ramp. So I tasked him with a very difficult job.
Wow, well he killed it.
But he did it.
Except for the vortex part, which you said you would change. You would just turn the loop on its side, and just extend both sides.
Which we probably should have done, because I have a loop in the office. I should have just done that in the first place.
Oh, you have a loop in the office. Okay, well, yeah.
But also, you know what though? I mean, honestly, like if it was sideways like that, you would just drop down if you blew it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I was ready for that either. So I don't know. I feel like the grass is greener either way.
Well, you did it.
Yeah, you did it. Hey, he set it up. You did
it. But when you really whipped around it though. I could see why this kind of was like the most successful viral video because you see skateboarding, but you don't see it sideways like that. You don't see it going around sideways.
Yeah, well, I think it's
interesting.
Something that the non-skater can relate to and understand too.
Right. I feel like just the same as why the Tony Hawk video game was so successful. Because any regular person could play. It wasn't a simulation, you know. Now they have a lot of these simulation games, which are great, but they don't appeal to the mass market of people who just want to skateboard and have fun and play this game.
Right.
Which is genius.
Sure. Yeah, but I mean, really, we just set out to make a video game that I thought skaters would like. That was it.
That was it.
I really didn't think it would transcend beyond the skate crowd.
Well, it did.
Right.
I knew it was fun. I mean, I played video games my whole life, so I knew it was a fun game to play, even if you don't skate. But I just thought, you know, skating was counterculture. It was niche. It was just not. It wasn't Madden.
I think it was perfect for the non-skater. Because then they could be like, damn, I'm pretty good at this shit. I could probably skate.
We were just talking about, actually, I had this discussion just the other day with someone because the tricks you could do on the game, people were just, that was a big complaint in the skate world. Like, it's not even real. You can grind telephone wires. You can do, and now looking back, like, you could do crooked grind, nollie flip to late shove it.
People are doing that.
Shane O'Neill.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Exactly.
And he grew up playing that game.
He did.
And look what you've
And now he's in
produced.
it too. He's in the game.
In it.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Yes, all because of Tony.
I love you. That was amazing, dude.
No, but I try to tell people that. I'm like, these tricks are done in real life now.
Yeah.
And it is possible that these guys playing the game thought that they were really possible.
Yeah, it evolved.
Totally.
Mind, for sure.
And I feel like at the same time too, like, every kid maybe has a skateboard lying around. They didn't get into it, but they rode a skateboard, right? So they can definitely relate to the game in some way or another. You know what I mean?
The other thing that it taught too was the language of skateboarding. And that's how I learned the varial flip is from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Which, by the way, Tony... Roger, every time Kelly says varial flip,
he's riding this to the wheels fall off, Tony. He's riding this.
It's been a joke. It's been a joke on the show, the whole varial flip and kick, shove it thing. And then somehow you got involved because Roger was defending his side by saying that Tony Hawk's said that it's a varial flip is a shove it.
I've just given up. I've given up.
Yeah, I have too, but Kelly just loves
to... It's a shove it kick flip. It's also a frontside shove it heel flip.
Yep.
But yes, varial flip. It just stuck, and it's like, I'm sorry. That's how it is.
But here's the thing.
I use the same name.
This is what I was wondering.
But also, you are talking to a vert skater. When I do a varial flip, I am grabbing that thing like a varial.
Yeah.
On vert, right? So to me, it was a varial flip.
Yes.
No way around
But to
that.
the street skater, you're not grabbing.
And the same goes with varial heel flips. I would catch those lean air.
Right.
So it was a varial to me.
I wonder where that trend, like, why it started to be called varial flip or varial heel flip.
Probably because of the game.
It was probably because we were doing them on vert, and so that's what we were calling them, and they became more commonplace on street.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
And that name stuck. And, a lot of the stuff stems from vert, so.
Yeah.
And the game didn't help either because it was named that in the game.
Yeah, it was named that.
Yeah.
And that's what I was thinking because there's so
and
many...
I used to get a lot of flack. Like Jamie Thomas hated that I said Ollie One Foot was Ollie North.
Oh, really? But that's what people call it,
I'll take
though.
the blame.
Yeah.
Ollie North.
I remember
Ollie North.
seeing
Yeah.
it in the magazines as Ollie North.
Yeah.
So
That's how I knew it as when I was growing up.
And I thought it was
North.
cool that way, but everyone's like, no, it's Ollie 1 foot. I'm like, oh, well.
Man, I beg to differ.
I think there's a legit argument there.
Yeah. I used to call it Ollie North all day.
Yep.
I remember that specifically. And then it
But also,
evolved
it's a
into
cooler name.
fucking
It's,
Ollie
you know,
One
Oliver
Foot.
North. I ran Contra. Like,
I ran Contra. That was a big thing.
yeah.
No, but because in the
I'm
video,
just trying to keep everyone up to date on the news cycle.
There you go.
By naming skate tricks.
But in the video game, there's so many names, right? How can you control every name that was being brought up in that video game and overlook everything was exactly correct?
Hey, it was that was all on the developers. That was
Right.
all on Neversoft. You know, the idea that they could parse things in a way that if you're approaching a rail or a ledge from one side, it is front side or it is overcrooked. Like, I'm still amazed that any of that was right.
That's right.
Yeah.
They get real fucked. They were
could
bound.
just be
They
a
were bound to
recipe for
fuck up on it.
disaster.
Yeah, they were bound to mess
Yeah.
up on this one way or another. And you know how
Absolutely.
skaters are so like picky and like that shit's not called that. What are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Here's an example.
Yeah,
of
I
a
think,
picking
I
skater
think
that's
we
not called
got
that.
a pretty good track record on it.
Yeah.
We were talking about this before the show because you were just on B-Real's podcast,
Yes.
which is such a great
Yeah.
podcast. Such a great podcast.
Wow.
I think I know why you're saying wow, because by the end of the podcast, we couldn't even see anything anymore because it was so smoky in there. And we were just like, dude, first of all, it's amazing to be on B-Real's podcast.
For sure.
He does a great job. Great job.
Yeah, it
and
was
him and
super
his
cool.
crew.
I was like, damn, Tony, you do your work, bro. Real shit. Because like going on,
He hit me up.
It's almost like you
So
don't say no.
Here's the story behind. I do have to say. Here's the story about behind B-Real. I owed him a favor. That's not why I did it, but he showed up for us on King of the Road because there was a
right.
challenge that you had to skate with a multi-platinum rapper,
Gotcha.
and you got more points the more album sales they had.
amazing.
And I know Exhibit, so I hit up Exhibit, and he's like, oh man, I'm not in Tao, but you should hit up B-Real. Like, Cypress Hill has sold
You guys
tens
win
of
with these
millions
guys.
And so I was like, you think he'll do it? He's like, yeah, man, B-Real's down. He's down to do stuff. And so I hit him up, and the next night he showed up with the Birdhouse team somewhere downtown LA. I wasn't there, but he did it.
No way.
And yeah,
That's
and I think
incredible.
he's a big reason that we won that thing.
Sick.
Yeah, points came in.
And so we have been in touch ever since then. And he hit me up to do this, and I missed a date that there was some date he set, and I couldn't do it that date. And then he hit me up again, and he actually got like, they send their minions out to harass people online.
Okay.
And so he put the word out like, yo, tag
Get
Tony
him.
Hawk on
Get
all of
him.
his social media.
Right. So you saw that.
And it worked. And so I said, yo, man, I got the, I hear the call. What do you want to do? And he's like, yeah, man, come up, let's do it. And so I came up there, and I don't really smoke weed. I did sometimes as a kid.
The call to action worked.
Hey, dude,
And
the
sometimes
call to
the year.
action
I
worked.
never felt like I could really function highly doing
Right.
that, and it definitely affected my skating. So I'm not opposed to it. It just didn't really work for me.
Sure. Sure.
When I went there, in 20 minutes, my throat was burning intensely. I mean, like, it was hard to breathe. And by the end of it, I'll never forget, I left their parking lot, and they're deep downtown LA. I got on the road, and I was like, I don't know where I am. I don't know what's going on. I don't remember. Am I supposed to go home now? Like,
the
I was
essence of secondhand
genuinely-
smoke.
I was out there, yeah. So I pulled over on this busy street, just off on the side, and just sat there on my phone for like a half hour,
Just
looking at social media and just trying to get some sense of normalcy. And then I was like, okay, I'm good to go. I'm okay.
I love it.
Because those guys do not mess around.
Even if you try to indulge, let me just have one little hit with these guys. You know what I mean?
it's probably the
I
best.
would
It's
have
the
been,
best.
I would've been useless
Yeah.
on that show for sure. I mean, and they're all bragging about it. You know, they've got like the most intense strains and everything else. And they were with is it Trick Daddy, the guy from Detroit?
Detroit.
Not Trick.
Trick. His name is Trick. I think Trick.
Trick. Yeah. Trick.
Yeah.
No, Trick. I know Trick Daddy is. Yeah. Trick came and he had some weed that he was bragging about that they all were like, oh, dude, he's got the orangutan. And then they started smoking that, and I was like, I have to get out of here.
Is it a small environment? Is it like a small
car or some shit?
It's 6 dudes all smoking joints the entire time in a very small setting.
Oh, I thought it was in a car because they have a car setting as well. Oh, but this might have been a little different.
No, that's he told me about that. I was like, dude, I won't survive that.
Right.
And you don't go. That's the hot box.
Yeah,
it's like you don't go in the hot
yeah.
box unless you smoke with them.
There you go.
We were laughing because we were talking.
God,
we were like,
yeah.
dude, the room was a smoke. Like he had to have gotten.
No,
like,
I was overall. I was just like,
sure.
damn, I'm so like amazed and stoked that you actually did that interview. It was amazing. Seriously.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
I tried to tell him too, you know, Cypress Hill was one of the first real champions of legalizing weed
Oh, hell yeah.
in a very
Big time.
public way and in a very successful way.
Yeah.
And I try to tell him, I go, I credit you, you know, I give you a lot of credit for how far this has all come.
Right.
Yeah, they were definitely forefront.
That was their brand. You know?
Totally. Yeah.
Every song. Seriously,
I
almost
love
every
you,
song.
Mary Jane.
Yeah. Snoop as well.
Oh, yeah.
Snoop.
Definitely
Snoop for sure. Well, I mean, he's the king.
And then also, I mean, I'm a fan of Joe Rogan. You know, I listen to his podcast as well as long. You know, if it's somebody that interests me or whatever, even if it's somebody I never even heard of, I'll take a listen for a while. But that's so amazing that you got to do that podcast, and like you know him. That is the podcast.
Hell
That's
yes.
the
Yeah,
podcast.
absolutely.
It is.
I actually hit him up because he had Tom Green on, and I just love Tom.
Tom's
Yes,
amazing.
I love Tom Green.
And I hit up Joe. We had been communicating on Twitter through the years, and I just said, hey man, that was really cool having Tom on. Like I think Tom's so cool. He's, you know, I feel like he's really rebranded himself, and it's cool to see him getting recognition. And he's like, yeah man, come up anytime.
Oh wow.
Wow.
That was his
I
answer.
said, really? You know, this is like right during COVID, the beginning of COVID.
Yeah,
I said,
yeah.
Okay, sure, yeah, I'll come up.
Because I mean, listen, he probably has a waiting list like no other to get on that show. He probably has.
Yeah, I really
talk about
didn't
call to
expect to be
action.
invited. There was not what, you know what I mean? It wasn't like some ulterior motive to reach out to him. I genuinely was just stoked to see Tom on there.
Tom's so sick.
Fast forward to Riley was just in Austin on a skate trip. Mm-hmm. And Riley texted me and said, hey, Joe Rogan's playing here tomorrow night. And I was like, how is that possible? And he said, can you ask him for tickets? And I go, yeah, sure, I guess. I don't, you know. And I hit him up on Twitter. And sure enough, he got Riley tickets. And I'm super jealous now because Riley got to see him and Chappelle perform
Oh, wow.
So sick.
live in Austin last night.
Oh, wow. Last night.
I thought it was just Dave Chappelle, but you're now Joe Rogan. That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, I was the facilitator. I wanted those tickets.
If Tony would have known, he would have been out there. In a
No, I
hard
think it's
day
super cool.
too
Like,
late.
and also, you know, how Chappelle does it, everyone has to get tested.
Yeah.
Everyone sits at a table like with their own group. Everyone wears a mask. Like, I mean, he has figured out how to make it work in this setting.
He's had a bunch of them outdoors and
had
stuff
2 or
like
3
that.
so far.
Yeah, so this one was outdoors in Austin, and
So
Riley got to go.
fucking
I was super jealous.
I trip out on Joe Rogan because he's a comedian first, very funny guy.
Was
but on
that
his
the first? Was he first a comedian?
he
does like everything, I feel.
No, I know.
Fear
I mean,
Factor.
Fear Factor was the first thing I seen him on. So
I
Yeah.
think he's
same
always
here.
been like a comedian.
Yeah, I think he did stand up, and that's how he
That's
got
how he kind
recognized.
of
Amazing.
But he's not that like he's funny on his show, but he has very like serious conversations. That's
Yeah,
why I
it's
kind of
more
trip
in-depth.
out on him. He's more of like he's got his comedic side, and then his podcast side, and then his podcast side. He could talk to an astronaut, a
Anybody.
fisherman, a senator, he
A
could,
skateboarder.
Skateboarder. I mean. He's so versatile
Very
in conversation.
well-rounded. Yeah.
Like I'm like, does he research these people?
Yeah,
Or-
he's genuinely interested.
Yeah.
That's the thing about doing interviews, especially when you do talk shows. You have to do a pre-interview, and they want little perfect sound bites of stories or something that is you know very tight, and it's cool, it's awesome, but it also feels very fabricated or rehearsed a lot
like
of
you've
the time.
talked about it already, and now you're talking about it for the second time.
Yeah, and even when you're on the other end of it, the host will set you up for the story that you're going to tell that has this perfect little ending to it.
Right.
And that's just how it is on those television shows. But when you do something like with Joe Rogan and other podcasts too, you can let the conversation flow, but he's really good at getting into the interesting stuff, like Howard Stern.
Yes. Yes.
Howard Stern's
one of the best.
He's the king.
Yeah. One of the best.
Definitely.
Yeah, I find him fascinating. I mean, Howard Stern as well. He's radio. I mean, podcast radio. It's kind of the same thing now that the
But
interviews
when you
and
have a
stuff like
host
that.
that's disarming,
where
you do feel relaxed, you just get better.
Yeah.
You get better stories.
you get a better
information.
Totally. Yeah, I love it, man. I mean, wow.
Those are the two right now.
Those are the two.
Yeah.
100 mil. Spotify.
And you guys.
Thank you, bro.
That's it.
That's,
That's Mount Rushmore.
There you go.
Rogan, Stern, 9 Club.
9 Club. I like the sound of that.
That is not
We're gonna
bad.
have to put that in writing, man.
That's awesome.
No, but I just think it's amazing you have gotten to do so many amazing things.
It is crazy.
It's
I
crazy, Tony.
I never take any of that for granted. I am super thankful and amazed that I get to do all that stuff. And when I do it, I want to represent skateboarding the best I can when I do it. You know what I mean? I'm not just there for my own success. Like, this kind of stuff, I don't get paid to go on Joe Rogan.
Right.
I didn't get paid to go on this big game show.
Yeah.
And it's all for charity. I just really enjoy it. And I feel like if I get to do those things, I'm raising awareness for skateboarding somehow, some way.
Definitely.
To a new audience.
Yeah.
Even if you go on the Joe Rogan experience, skaters supporting skaters.
Hell
That's what
yeah.
you're doing.
Sure.
You're putting it out there.
Fuck
you know?
Yeah, and make no mistake, like, of course I make good money.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I make a good living and I have good salaries and good royalties and stuff like that. And it's not all altruistic. Like I'm still hustling. But it is, I reached a place where I don't have to struggle for that stuff. Yeah. And so I'm able to enjoy all the more extracurricular opportunities without being obnoxious about it, I hope.
But you don't forget why this has all happened, and that's the main thing. And it shows, Tony. Like, really, I'm not even just trying to say that, but like, you're this. I mean, even for myself, man, you've been a staple for skateboarding for me since I started. So it's like, for me, in hindsight, now I'm like fucking 43 years old. I'm like, you're still doing it, and I'm like so thankful. And to be honest, like, it's truly amazing, man. And like I said, man, that's why I said you're the skateboard godfather for me. You know what I'm saying? And like, and just to see what you've done with it, and it's, you put skateboarding on a really, really, really amazing platform, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
Thanks, man. Well, I mean, that's that's what I hope to do, and I do feel like I get these rare opportunities to do just that, and it would be wasted if I were just there living it up.
Yeah.
You could tell it's genuine. That's why it's like it's a beautiful thing to see you on all these things. And I'm like, why is he on B-Real shit? And I'm like, that's why. It's all because of skateboarding.
Yeah.
Straight up.
It's genuine, but like all skateboarders are so proud to have you like represent skateboarding.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's not just because it's also because of video games. Like that's for sure my foot in the door to a lot of these things.
Right.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter that you could go on The Masked Singer in front of all these people, in front of these judges, these famous judges, and you take off your mask and everybody knows who you are. Like, that is incredible.
Yeah.
Think about that.
That was a little bit outside of my comfort zone and my usual radar of what I want to do, but I did have fun.
I mean, the only thing I sing is Happy Birthday, and I barely sing that. I don't even sing in the shower, Tony. I'm not a singer.
Yeah, my whole family has a lot of musical talent, so I was trying to ride on their coattails.
I was gonna ask something because Jerron kind of said it earlier. He's like, Tony, man, it looks like you almost never say no, like to do these things. Do you ever say no to do something?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. They just asked me to do the masked dancer. They have a masked dancer.
Oh no! Wow.
Oh, you said
that
no
was
to that?
never, ever going to happen.
Even singing though, like, did you have?
Singing? Well, I knew I could keep a tune. especially with certain songs. And they offered me The Cure, and I was like, I'm in.
That's it.
If I get to sing The Cure, and I don't have to show my identity until afterwards, I'm down.
There you go.
If it was like you have to go in there and be Tony Hawk and sing it, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, if it was just me on stage, no, that would be terrible.
The mask part is a big deal for sure.
That's crazy.
But then wait, don't you have to do multiple?
Even if you blow it super hard, it's not like you're there facing the embarrassment in real time.
You're behind a mask, yeah.
Don't you have to do multiple songs, or is it just one?
I had, I got voted off.
Okay, so there you go. They're like, do The Cure. You're probably more likely going to get voted off.
They wanted me to sing Born to Be Wild, and I had a whole routine for Born to Be Wild, which was a lot more flashy with pyrotechnics and stuff like that. And they said they wanted me to sing that first.
Oh.
And I stood my ground and I said, look, I don't want to do this show and have it be the only song that I do if I get voted off is Steppenwolf, because that's just not me.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
You know, and so I said, I want to do The Cure, and to their credit, they're like, well, it's not as much of an exciting song. And I said, yeah, but I'll feel okay about myself if I do The Cure and I'm voted off.
That's important.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. The coolest part to me was that I have a connection to Robert Smith. I actually have his email, and I sent him a link. I said, I tried, man. I tried to do it.
So good.
And he replied. And that was probably cooler than being on the show.
What did he say?
Yeah, what did you say?
He said the fix was in. He's like, looks great. The fix was in, though.
I mean, it takes some guts, you know, I'm not going to lie. Singing is not like I said, I don't sing alone in my car. You know, I stay away from
But then
singing.
you wonder, you're like, did the producers try to set me up for success? You know what I mean?
Oh, Born to Be Wild?
They had,
just doing that first, kind of coming out.
They also wanted me to sing I Hate Myself for Loving You.
Wow.
So if I made it past the first two songs, that was going to be my third song, and I was fully prepared to bow out.
Oh.
Because it was starting to go to a place where I wasn't so comfortable.
Yeah, that's tough. You know, not being
Joan Jett is
comfortable.
not on my first picks of songs to sing.
No.
I like
you
Joan
forget
Jett,
the
but
lyrics
just
and
not,
stuff.
I don't think I have the voice for a Joan Jett song.
All right, Tony, listen. We got two more. I like this one. I like this one a lot. Because I used to watch this show a lot. Is this weird that we're going through all your I love it.
I feel like this is your life.
Because this is stuff I never hear about, you know, and I'm truly interested in it because I used to watch this show a lot. And I would always think to myself, like, how does somebody get fooled because the thing, it's not even a real situation and it looks and thing, but you got punked with Riley.
Yeah. Okay, wow. Okay, I thought you were doing more recent stuff. Yes, with Riley.
No, because I used to watch the show a lot.
I can tell you the backstory of that. I started to figure it out.
Okay, because the first couple, when you pulled up, you were like, your composure, you had to gather your composure because of the situation at hand. It looked like you were like, okay, I got to just let me focus on this.
Wait, what initially
There were
happened?
a couple of issues there that seemed
Out of
a little
place.
too suspect or obvious. And
What happened?
I recognized the guy.
The cop.
Not the cop, the guy in the plaid shirt.
Oh, you reckon?
I
So what
recognized
happened?
him from something, and I knew he was in LA. Like, I just knew he was an actor or something. But that all happened later. So there got to be a point where they could tell I was figuring it out.
Because what happened was Riley. Riley was how old? 10 years old, right there, little kid.
Something like that, yeah. And then they said he was at. So there were a few things. He was at this beach. There's public bathrooms at that beach. They said that he dropped an M80 in the toilet, and then it exploded.
In the toilet next to him, somebody was in it, and they got
And exploded. That woman, that girl was on it. And so the thing that was absurd to me was that he would never be at that beach.
Okay.
There's no way for him to get there.
Right.
Like, there's certain beaches that him and his crew would go to because they could skate there or they would find a route. I recognize that guy.
That guy in the plaid, yeah.
Yeah, and so when I got there, I was like, all right, something's up. This is weird. they had me standing talking to this cop right next to this blacked out, dark tinted window van.
Oh.
And so I was like, all right, there could be cameras in there. And then when I talked to this guy, I started realizing, like, no, he's an actor.
Oh, wow. I can see your eyes. Yeah. Your eyes
breaking him down
right here. You start looking.
So right there, I'm looking at
you
the
look
van.
you looked over.
Yeah. So at this point, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna play along. And then finally, the guy just was like, all right, man, you're too good.
Figured it out.
It was more. He said something like, "You're too nice," and then he's like, "You're being punked." But also, the other part was that that's Riley's mom. The other part was that Riley did not really know about this beforehand, and I felt really bad about that.
Oh, they kind of just threw him into the situation.
They kind of threw it at him. Like it was more that they had been in contact with his mom, and then his mom pulled him out of school and was like, "Okay, we're going to do this." And I don't think he was all on board with it.
Gotcha.
Because he was not a fan of doing TV stuff back then. Not that he is now, but he can handle himself.
Sure. But back then, you're 10 years old and you're punking.
And it was more that it was just annoying that I was having all this success and that I was, recognized. And,
okay, right.
And it was more like he was under a microscope.
Right.
Yeah.
He'd go to elementary school and they're like, oh, there's that kid, there's Tony Hawk's kid. He just couldn't really do his own thing. Mm-hmm. So then they just sort of fed into it.
Yeah, because I used to watch these shows and be like, how is he falling for this right now? Like, I look at the police car, I look at the uniform, I look at like how that cop is even talking.
Sure, in the beginning, I was really concerned and confused.
Sure.
And then at some point, I was like, this is not real.
This is fake. I love it.
But I also didn't want to be the guy that's like, all right, I'm being punked.
right. I think even at the end, they're like, you're being punked, and you're like, okay, cool. Can I go home now? Like, this is like,
kind of knew that.
Like, yeah, like, can I go?
I remember that day because I was taking all the other kids to Disneyland.
Yeah.
And here we go.
Look at Riley right there. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Like he's so relieved that it's over right there. He just wants the charade to end.
But listen, Tony, that was a big deal back then. If you got punked by Ashton Kutcher.
Oh yeah, no, I felt like
it was.
I made it.
It was a big deal.
It was funny because we were taking the other kids to Disneyland that day, and because they pulled Riley out of school for this, Riley got to go with us, so that was like his reward.
So that was a good. Okay, so it all ended a happy story.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Got to ride the teacups. You know what I'm saying? After he punked his dad.
Teacups.
The teacups.
Not even.
I haven't talked about that in years.
We just pulled it up because, I mean, all this stuff is interesting to us, and I used to literally watch that show all the time and watch these people. And sometimes I'd be like, wow, that was a good one. They really got that. And then other times I'm like, you didn't even fall for this bullshit. Yeah.
How could you even air this?
Dude. It was overwhelming at first, and then it became like something's off here.
Once you start kind of coming down off the high of this situation that you've been put into, right?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Last one, Tony. One more, because I know you talk about this all the time. I love it, though. And you even gave us a Simpsons thing when you were here, bro.
Oh, yeah.
But, being on The Simpsons, being immortalized in this show, I mean, this show's been running for 20 plus, how many? I don't even know how many years.
Simpsons is no joke.
Yeah. That was the 300th episode.
Even better. Now, I hear that they go in and they do all their voiceovers separately and all that stuff. So did you just have to go in separate and just not have any actors to bounce off the script?
Yeah. In fact, in these scenes, Homer was already voiced.
So they were playing his voice and you were responding to it.
Yeah. But what they do is when they do have an episode, they all go to the studio and they do what they call a table read. So everyone sits at one table and reads the entire script.
Gotcha.
And that was by far the coolest thing of the whole
So
process.
you got to go to the table read where they're all sitting around.
Every single character of The Simpsons is there.
They're doing it in their own.
Random people their voices come out and it's.
Oh my
They're doing it in the
it's
voices.
a character you know.
Yeah, because you never see them. Like,
Yeah.
you
You never
what these
see them.
people look like.
You know a few of them, Nancy Cartwright and
the
Hank
main.
Azaria and stuff,
Yardley
but there's
Smith,
a whole crew.
Yeah.
So
of people
sick.
with random voices that are like, wait, that's the bully? Wait,
What about Mo, the guy, or the guy that burps a lot?
Mo's Tav. Oh, Barney.
Barney, was he there?
Yeah, well, Barney was in my episode, but they're all there.
Barney
Call
wasn't.
whoever needs to be there.
Barney wasn't in his episode.
So
No, I just think it's amazing, man. Like I said, you've just been a part of so many like awesome things, you know. And Simpsons.
That was so. I mean, just that in itself was such
now.
a huge honor to be featured.
Now, did they just
and-
hit you up and say we have this idea?
No,
or
what
was it
happened
like?
was right around that time, just a couple of years before that, I hired a publicist because everything was kind of getting crazy and overwhelming, and I didn't know how to navigate all the requests for things.
Yeah.
So I hired a publicist that was actually a friend of my sister's, Sarah Hall Productions, and she started to figure out how to prioritize all these things that I was being offered, and she pitched Fox for me to be on The Simpsons.
Wow.
So sick.
So
need
I
a
didn't know
publicist.
that at the time. I didn't realize that she had done that. And when the request came, she's like, I have been asking them for months if they wanted to do something with you, and they just wrote a whole episode about you.
No.
So sick.
Wow.
Dude.
I still work with her. I'm still at Sarah Hall Productions.
I need to give her a call.
She's awesome.
No, but that's what that's what normally they do, right? Is that they'll hook up like, even though you had a Joe Rogan in, but they'll hook up Joe Rogan interview.
They
like,
do,
they'll work
sure.
for.
And it's been a really good relationship because I was early on in social media, especially Twitter and Instagram, and I taught her crew about social media.
Oh, interesting.
You know what I mean? Like
Wow.
they've taught me a lot about, I don't know, just how to prioritize
Yeah.
interviews or appearances and things like that, and also, how to say things properly without doing it the wrong way.
Sure.
Not that I've ever fallen into that, but I've seen how it works.
Yep.
Dude, it's so crazy you say that, Tony, because Twitter and Instagram, for example, skateboarders have really led that shit. Instagram, for example, I think that a lot of skateboarders were on Instagram before Instagram was Instagram. I'm
for
just
sure.
being honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's true.
And I sometimes get credited for being the first athlete on Instagram.
Yeah.
Or the first pro athlete or pro
wow.
skateboarder. I'm like,
That's so sick.
dude, I got on it because the Birdhouse crew, that's where they were living.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
And they all said, you got to get on Instagram. And I thought Instagram was just filters. So I had an Instagram account. I signed up for it early on, but because I thought it was filters to use for other social media apps.
Got it. I thought it was an app to make your photos look better.
Yeah. But I had already signed up and I already had Tony Hawk.
Right.
Amazing.
So they're like, no, you got to post on Instagram.
You're like, oh. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
the problem was in Instagram, and even when it was just photos first, a lot of skaters actually had trouble self-promoting almost.
For sure.
You know
For
what
sure.
I mean?
No, it was one of those things that, we
took
kind of
time.
evolved into slowly. Once you started seeing other people do it that were in your circle, it made it easier for you to be like,
totally
okay,
did.
he's on there. All right,
Yeah.
I'm a friend.
And
He's my
there's
friend.
always some diehard holdout in your crew.
Yeah.
Seriously, the resistance.
And then when they finally sign up, everyone's like, yo,
Yeah.
Cameron's on
welcome
Instagram.
our boy to Instagram.
Yep.
It's true. It's true. Tony, man. What's next, bro? What are you working on right now? Anything going on skate-wise or anything that the people need to know, that we need to know about? What's going on?
Always skating.
Yeah, well, we know that.
I mean, I've been skating in the last few months more than I have in years.
Fuck yeah.
Now,
I finally feel like I kind of got the groove back. It's hard to explain, but I feel like
I love that.
I don't feel like every time I go the ramp that I gotta shake off the rust.
Gotcha.
You're
You know,
doing
I'm
it
just
just
sort of back
enough.
like, oh, I can drop in and it's on. I can do my tricks and do that stuff, and which has been really weird, obviously, at my age and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to break any new records or do some big new gnarly crazy trick. I just like doing my little coping dances and trying to stay creative that way. And that's been really fun. But doing a lot more of that, a lot more stuff with the foundation, obviously, Skatepark project. Trying to do more at skate parks, fundraising, and I don't know. I got a couple things on the burner that I'm sure you'll see eventually.
Amazing.
So good.
When you skate, there's like a ritual you do, like, or once a day or every other day?
Stretching?
How often do you skate a week?
I try to skate at least 4 or 5 times on the ramp.
A week.
Yeah. And if I don't skate for more than 3 or 4 days, it's a little harder to get back in that rhythm for me.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I'm just older and I get stiffer easier. So, to get loose again is hard. And I've never had any sort of stretching routine or anything like that. So
That's what I heard.
No stretching.
I have a run that I do right when I drop in.
Oh, okay.
And I know how the day is going to go.
Just by that one run.
Yeah.
What is that run that you do?
It's changed through the years, but now it's, I go drop in, lean tail slide, body jar, backside tail slide. And when I say backside tail slide, it's a nose grab.
Okay.
Back lip, ollie tail slide, backsmith, 5-0 to fakie caballero.
Oh, that's your warm-up run.
That's more warm run.
That's a stretching routine. So you actually really don't stretch.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
fucking
But I know if I had difficulty with that or any part of that, I know what I'm going to have to sort of work on or dig deeper for in that session.
Interesting. You don't even like start on the flat bottom and just pump back and forth just to get the legs going or something?
A little bit.
Okay.
Sometimes. It depends on, sometimes I'll throw in a rock to fakie and a fakie disaster in the beginning just to get the feel of transition.
Man, no stretch. I do a little stretch. I'm not a big stretcher either, Tony, but I do a little. I get my calves loose. I get my calves loose.
I'm not trying to condone that. I'm not trying to brag about it.
Right, it works for you.
It's just how I've always done it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I probably should. I probably should stretch.
I think for me,
I
too.
watched Lincoln Ueda, who is close to my age. He stretches for a good 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And he drops in and blasts 8-foot airs. So it works
You're
for
like,
him.
there's something to that. Right.
Yeah.
But you got to do what works for you, what you're accustomed to, for sure.
Yeah, but you also have to adapt to your age. And your abilities. So
So
getting
true.
there. I feel like I'm the litmus test for how far you can take it and still be a relevant pro.
Yeah. Straight up.
You'll be relevant forever, bro.
For me, it's like patience. I don't have fucking patience sometimes to sit there and stretch. I'm like so anxious to skate that my patience level is just
that's
like,
it. And also with having so many kids and other obligations, I don't have that luxury of this whole window. I gotta go. I got an hour and a half. That's all I got. I'm going tomorrow, and I know that I only have really from 10 to 11:30 to skate tomorrow.
Wow.
I got to make the most of that time.
I feel you.
That makes you just skate even harder.
It
When
does.
you know that you have
Sometimes
that-
it'll force
that-
you to make tricks that you didn't think you were gonna make.
This is true. This is true.
When you're skating like for an hour and a half, do you usually are trying to film something every day, or is it just kind of, I just want to skate today, no film or whatever, or is it always you have something in mind?
It
you
all
want to film?
depends.
Yeah.
Not usually. I don't. Sometimes there's a directive, and sometimes I'll know I'm gonna shoot this thing today, and I close off the ramp for the most part. Not let people in.
Sure.
Usually, though, it's just us skating and having fun, and if something sort of happens spontaneously, we all have our phones, and that's usually what happens. Is like, hey, what if we tried this, or let's relearn this silly trick.
Yeah.
Let's challenge each other. So that happens a lot.
Right.
I have a directive tomorrow because I got to shoot something for a tribute to someone, so I know what I'm going to be doing.
Okay.
But I know that when I'm done with that, Bucky is going to come, Stav's going to come.
Amazing.
And we're just going to skate.
Rad.
The homies coming
homies.
through.
The homies.
I love that.
Yes.
It must be rad just to, we have the beach that we go skate. That's our spot, but just to have your own spot, you could go, you could know nobody's
happy
there. It's your happy place.
Yeah.
I have a totally different state of mind when I leave the ramp.
Right?
It's the best.
I just feel calmer. I feel more in control, and I'm ready to go do things again.
That's so sick.
And with your peers and your homies there to kind of uplift you and just build with them. It's the best feeling. It
So
really
good.
is.
And also, we have sort of the crew. We have what I call the Adult Swim crew, which is me, Bucky, Andy. Who else is in that crew? There's a few bike dudes that come ride.
Sick.
Mikkel and Lincoln sometimes. And then there's what I call the X Games finals.
Oh,
Show up around 2 or 3 o'clock. It's Jimmy, Shay, Paul Luke, Alex Perlson.
Oh, the little younger
And
guys.
yeah.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
Jimmy Wilkins that you're talking about?
But I love getting in the mix with those guys too, because it just gets you hyped.
Yeah.
Hell
dude.
yeah.
I mean, those guys they're insane. They're magical. Like Jimmy Wilkins
He's on another level.
he's on a different
Unreal.
level of what we thought Vert could be.
Yeah.
He skates it like street.
Yeah.
He's
And
unreal.
it's that young energy too. It's that just like that. Yeah, you could have like the old man session, which we do sometimes. So an old man,
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
and then
and also, some people like that's their entry point. Lizzie will be skating with us sometimes. Like if she's gonna skate, she's gonna skate with us.
With that, right.
Because she feels less pressure.
I'd love to come down there and skate with you guys, man.
Give it a try, Christopher.
Yeah, you drop in,
Teach you how to
Chris?
knee slide. Let's do it.
Yeah, there we
be it.
go.
He'll just teach me how to knee slide. That's all.
That's
Have you dropped in?
I have.
Hey,
I have
that's
dropped
a big,
in.
That's a big step. That means everything.
Tony,
Yeah,
let me tell you something. Like my
Street
ankle.
dudes cannot knee slide. That's why Pat Duffy broke his leg on the mega ramp because he doesn't know how to knee slide.
That's true. That's true.
wow.
Well, also, our ankles are my ankles especially. Like I don't know if I could actually sit on my ankles like that for the knee
you don't
slide.
have to. We're just good at it.
They've been practicing quite some.
I've dropped in like 1 or 2 times. They had this like vert ramp in Malibu at one point, and I dropped in on that. But
How big was it?
It was like 4 feet.
4 feet of vert.
No, 4-foot ramp. No, I don't remember. I was young. I don't remember.
Tony's face like, what?
4-foot ramp with vert.
It was like an inch of vert.
Kind of ramp are
An
you
inch of
skating?
vert. No, it was a legit. I don't remember the height or whatever. But I'm not. If I
That's
went
far
down,
more dangerous than my 14-foot ramp, by the way.
this
A
is true.
4-foot ramp with vert
This is true.
is way more dangerous.
Tony, if I went there, I would be. I think I would be terrified. I would be terrified to drop in.
Well, easy
I
way
would
to do
get
it. You'll be
fully.
right.
I'd get fully padded up.
Fully.
Oh,
Fully.
For sure.
Elbows, wrists, everything.
Yeah, so there's no shame in that. How do you think I've been doing this for?
Yeah.
I'm 52. I wear full
Yes.
pads. Bucky Elastic is crazy not wearing elbow pads. That's all I got to say.
Wow.
I can imagine you the elbow. Yeah,
Yeah, those things could get
Dude,
really.
that's why that was my first break. Right
that was your
there.
first one.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Surgery.
surgery.
What happened? Did you hyperextend it, or you just slammed it on the ramp?
No, we were shooting the Gap commercial. You ever see that Gap commercial with me and Frank Harada and Andy?
Oh my God, that's years ago.
What?
I don't remember it off the top of my
We were
head.
going over,
yeah.
I was going over a launch box, it's a kicker ramp with a landing ramp, and I did backside 180 mute or Weddle grab. So backside 180, and I didn't need to do that, but I just wanted to make something good in the commercial because we had just been clearing it the whole time. And so I did it, landed it, and they didn't get the shot because they didn't move the camera fast enough. And they're like, "Oh, can you do it again?" I was like, "Yeah, no problem." Locked up on the landing, straight, like flew all the way back to flat. And then as soon as I went like this, there was this thing sticking out of my elbow, and I broke it.
So you couldn't finish the day out, obviously.
Done.
Yeah.
No.
Those damn filmers
No,
asking
you know
you for
what's
that
weird about
one
that?
more try. We need one more try.
It was just exactly that.
Oh,
But
yes.
here's the thing about that is that this was in '98, and I didn't have a lot of prospects. I wasn't getting a lot of jobs. I didn't have a lot of sponsors at the time, and so I really needed the money from this commercial. Luckily, I got hurt near the end of it, so I got in the commercial and I got royalties from it.
Perfect.
But they put me on workman's comp.
Oh, because you
So
got hurt.
They said, because you're hurt, you can't get work. Not that I was getting any commercial work anyway, but they're like, you can't work in commercials, so we'll pay you. I was getting like $400 a week, tax-free.
What?
Plus the
So
additional
because I got
from the
hurt,
commercial.
I was making more money not getting commercials than I was as a pro skater.
Wow.
And
must
that
have-
lasted for like 2 or 3 months. It felt weird to me. It felt wrong. You know what I mean? But I didn't know any better, and I was just like, God. And I needed the money. Like Riley was young, and
I'll take that.
Hey, like this
400.
how it goes?
Yeah.
Let's go.
And-
Shit.
yeah. And then they said, well, you just have to tell us when you get work again. I was like, get work? What? You mean like a commercial? And then I got asked to do an American Express commercial And I said, well, I just broke my elbow. And they said, oh, we want you to jump through a curtain of glitter.
Okay. A curtain of glitter.
And they said, but we want you to do it. And I was like, okay. So then I called the workman's comp and I said, I'm working again. And they said, all right, we're not paying you anymore. And that was it.
Sounds like a good deal to me, but yeah, very.
I mean, it sucks that you broke your elbow.
There's something weird about where you feel like you're cheating the system, but I was just thrown into it. Like
of
I
course,
wasn't trying
that's the way it was built.
Like don't hate the player, hate the game.
I mean, you said it.
Because they hire you as like a stunt person, right? I mean, that's how you're skateboarding.
Me as a stunt person. But it was it was getting to the point where people knew me, and so it was more like, well, we're going to hire him, but we know he's recognizable. So it started to get weird because I was just getting hired as a regular SAG scale
Interesting.
actor.
Right.
Or stuntman.
Yeah, for sure.
And then it became like, well, wait, maybe I should probably do something that more like a sponsorship type of thing.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting way to look at it. Because there's stuntmen.
But I wasn't complaining. I was getting work.
Yeah, exactly. So
Tony Hawk, bro.
Goodness.
Kelly, is there anything you want to ask Tony Hawk while he's here, bro?
I would love to ask him something that Chris usually asks all the guests, but like, what's your setup right now?
Damn, I was going to get to that.
It's my boards, 8.5, 60 millimeter wheels.
Okay.
Indies, bones, hard bushings.
Loose or tight trucks?
Tight. I got
the hard ones on there.
Fast.
For sure.
Well, I got to ask these questions.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
My trucks are tight. Like if you were to stand on my board and lean to one side,
It'll pop up.
Wheel bite.
Oh, yeah.
It'll pop up. Yeah.
Right. Well, the reason we ask this question is because some people are very methodical about their board setups and need it a certain way, and other people don't care.
I don't have to, but I've gotten used to giving my board away so much through the years, mostly to charities and things like that I give the whole thing, the complete, away.
Right.
And so I'm used to new trucks more than I'm used to broken in trucks.
Oh, interesting.
Which I know freaks people out because everyone like holds onto their trucks for so long.
Well,
my trucks
the
barely
bushings.
are grinded.
Yeah.
It's the bushings, yeah.
Yeah.
And I know exactly how much thread is sticking out when I tighten it.
Oh, wow. You have it down to a science.
So so I have the bones hard bushings. I have usually 3.5 threads showing, and I'm good to go.
You're good to go.
That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Funny thing.
too.
Here's the funny thing about giving my boards away is that I can no longer get ceramic bearings.
You're like, hey, let me take these bearings out real quick and swap them out with some.
The main thing, yeah. Especially like that, if that's like ceramic bearings are fucking hard.
They're
to come by.
expensive. Yeah. Wait, are you?
They're like 150, right, in retail.
They're expensive.
Yeah, they're no joke.
Yeah, and so I was getting them, but then I was giving away so much. Bones is like, dude, come on. You can't give away a set of ceramic bearings every 3 weeks. Like that's not okay.
Yeah. Wait, so you prefer the ceramics? Is that? I've never tried them. I've always wanted to. Never tried them.
They're real fast.
Are they really?
Wow.
Yeah, but hey, the bone Swiss are.
Oh, they're great.
Those
For
are
sure.
great.
Yeah.
For sure.
I just always wanted to try the ceramics.
We're gonna get you some.
You're gonna get me some?
We're gonna get you some.
I'm not
Yeah.
giving my board away every 3 weeks, so I'll definitely hold on to them.
You're gonna work those out.
Yeah, we'll work them out.
And I'm not trying to throw bones under the bus, but they couldn't really keep up. Like
That's what-
they couldn't. They don't keep them in supply that much.
Yeah.
Sure.
Not that many people are buying the $200 bearings.
Yeah, true.
Pretty crazy.
That's when you have to have the stunt board on deck and you just be like, here you go.
Yeah.
You know? Can't
Yeah,
get this
no.
one. I got my ceramics on
No.
it.
But they want the one that Tony.
No, of
drives
course.
and everything.
It's still the same thing. It's
That
coming
is
from
true.
Tony.
Yeah, just do a flat ground trick. You know, give it to him.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the only thing really that just the threads is the main thing that you really
Well, when I set it up,
right. But once it's set up,
that's it.
you don't need grip tape anyway, a colored bolt.
No.
You don't need just go. Gotcha.
Let's go.
8.5
8.5, yeah.
Birdhouse Tony Hawk.
And I've
board.
actually gotten that's wider than when I used to ride. Believe it or not,
What'd you used to ride? 8.25?
8.25.
8.25.
Up until just a couple years ago.
Why'd you bump it up?
Because I saw Riley riding a wider board. Like if Riley's riding a wider board, I should be riding a wider board. My feet are bigger than his.
That's like the norm now. 8.5 is like the norm.
It's getting there.
It seems
8.375,
man,
8.5.
It's so psycho, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like 825 is like that main thing everyone's going for right now.
I mean,
Well, I used to say that I would have a hard time. I mean, that was true. It was easier for me to flip a board that was 8.25.
yep.
But I am barely flipping my board these days. I don't know why I was holding out for so long.
Sure.
Sounds like us, Chris.
It does. Tony, I used to ride a 775, street board, whatever, and I started skating these. Oh,
It was like flipping it like you're in the airplane.
I flipped the hell out of that thing. Listen, but I started skating, little curbs and slappies and doing my thing over there, which I'm in love with. I had to bump it up, 825, 85. I did an 8375 and love it. It feels great. I'm not flipping my board that much. It's perfect. So I understand.
8.5, I still got my Vero flips.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
But he's grabbing. He's grabbing, Kelly. He's grabbing.
You can call. That's fine, dude. I need to learn Vero flip.
Wait a minute. So Tony, if you do a Vero flip, but if you do a Vero flip on the ramp, but you don't grab it, still Vero flip.
I gotta grab it. I'm not one of those guys.
Oh no! But
That would be insane. Varial flip with no grab on a vert ramp would be insane.
Oh yeah.
With
Elliot did it over my gap.
See?
Heel flip frontside shove.
What?
Oh my God.
I guess you guys would call it a big flip, right? Frontside.
A heel flip, front side.
What do you
No,
go? Front. Wait.
Frontside heel big flip. When you call it that, if you're going front side direction 180.
Oh, you're talking about on the ramp or the
On
gap?
the ramp? No, you're saying on the ramp.
Oh yeah.
ramp over the gap.
I would almost still call it a heel flip shove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
you're going
so.
front
Obviously,
side,
it's
right?
like a 270. It's not your board's going 270 versus going fully around.
Yeah.
I mean, you can call it both.
Yeah. From
I don't
big
know.
heel.
I'm just trying to,
Humor us.
trying to speak your guys' language.
I love it, man. Tony, dude, this has
my
been
goodness.
incredible, bro.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Honestly, thank you so much for stopping and chatting with us.
Thanks for sending Tim down here to do it from my house.
Hey, I know you love Tim, and he loves you.
Hey, not many people can speak the language that Tim speaks.
This is true. This is true.
When I talk about, I'm talking about he has the deep knowledge of 80s skating and 90s skating.
Oh, he knows.
He's probably the guy that we should be asking what we're calling big flips or not.
I know, right? He's probably
dude.
just like.
Yeah, he's probably,
Oh, and he's giving me ideas for. He's the one who got me to do a frontside El Guerrero revert, which is like a switch McEgg. I would have never thought of that, and he's the one who told me to do it.
Wait.
what is that?
Explain it.
Switch
I don't-
McEgg?
McEgg?
Yeah, it's. I mean,
You wouldn't
What
call
did I
it switch
set
McEgg.
myself
I
up
mean, it
for?
is kind of right. It's so frontside El Guerrero is the Phillips 66.
I have no idea what he's talking about though.
No, I know what
See,
he's saying.
that's what I'm talking about. Tim would know all these things. A Phillips 66 is you go up, you come up the ramp, the wall, fakie. You grab Weddle, which we used to know as mute, right?
Yep.
Mute. Yep.
You grab between legs, then you turn in the front side direction, and you put this hand down on the wall.
You're turning blindside.
You're turning blindside, full 360. That is a Phillips 66.
Okay.
Sounds
then-
hard.
Tim told me that I should throw that to revert, and I was like, you're right.
So you're doing the same motion, but when you come in the ramp, you're going an
540.
extra. You're going 540.
Oh.
And so it's the same hands, motion, everything as a McEgg switch stance.
And your body's already rotating, so you might as well.
Yeah, we're so into the weeds here.
Just to be clear, is the Phillips 66 after Jeff Phillips?
Yes.
Yes.
He made it up.
Yes. OG.
See, we're on.
There
You
we
got
go.
it. You
Yeah.
got it.
Jerron knows.
So the whatever I did, Phillips 66 revert. I did it once on my ramp. I was coming down so diagonally that I almost flew off the edge of the ramp,
Oh wow.
and that's it.
We've seen you fly off the end of the ramp, Tony. That was gnarly. That
Oh, yeah.
spill you took. That was
super gnarly.
that was insane.
Dude, you know what? You know what was a super rad trick I saw you do was like a dream trick was the pop shove it blunt slide to fakie.
Oh yeah, see, that was Tim.
That was
Wow.
Because it was
You gotta
like
come in here and get.
I know Tim wants to show his face.
Tony, get the hell out of there. Let's talk to Tim now.
All right, well, let's give Bail Gun Gary props.
Yeah.
You got to give it where it's due. That was amazing though. That
Fuck yeah.
dream trick. You thought of that.
I wanted to try that, and I was gonna try it for a Birdhouse video, but I just couldn't put myself out there to do it because I already was killing myself doing other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tim hit me up for the dream trick, and I was like, "That's the one I want to do."
That's the one.
Wow.
Did it take a while?
I thought so. Yeah, I was
yeah.
pretty tired. It was a good.
it was-
That was one day.
Hour and a half of vert attempts is pretty much all you got.
That's
Hour and a
it.
half.
Unless you're Bucky. Bucky will try stuff for 3 hours straight.
So you had battled with that trick a bunch of times before that?
I had tried it, yeah. I actually tried it. Did you guys see our NBD challenge?
I did. Yeah.
We did that best trick event.
Yep.
I had tried that for the NBD challenge for part of my time, and I just gave up because I was like, I'm not going to get this in an hour. We only had an hour to make a trick.
Gotcha.
And I was like, I'm not going to get this in an hour.
What'd you switch to?
360 shove it, 5 out of fakie.
360 shove it 5. Oh, that's
Backside.
wow.
Because I had gotten into it a couple times previously, and I was like, if I'm ever going to make it, it's going to be now.
It's going to be now.
Wow.
A little bit different with the pressure, right? You thrive off of the pressure. You feel like you need to land. It's kind of this like street skating. A cop shows up. It's like
Countdown
last try.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Dave Duncan saying 15 seconds.
Dave Duncan. Yes.
That voice.
I got a trick request. Varial flip, blunt slide, pop to fakie. Just add a little flip in there on that pop shove it.
It's so hard to aim for my tail, even just doing a shove it.
Oh no, I love that trick because it definitely wasn't simple, but it was simple thinking of like a pop shove it and a blunt slide, but those two together are so awkward. I just never thought of that.
It's so hard. Everything's got to, as soon as you put weight on the tail has to be in the perfect position.
Ready.
Yeah.
Right.
Or it's not going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
I'm not doing it again.
No. No, none of that. No 900. We're having fun.
We're just counting them down.
We're having fun. Yeah.
Sometimes it is just a one and done, And
Hell
you move
yeah.
on,
Oh, yeah.
So many
That's
tricks.
most tricks these days, yeah.
Seriously.
So many tricks in our careers. I've only done them one time. Why would I go back and do it? It's on film. Go look at Hot Chocolate Tour or whatever. Go watch my video part. I did that.
Oh, speaking of your trick, look behind you, dude.
God damn it, Tony! You're supposed to tell me when this is off.
Oh, no.
Anyway, Tony Hawk.
I went there for the first time. That was my first time going there for the skating create.
Did you ollie up the stage?
No, there was a homeless guy sleeping there.
I didn't want to disturb him. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could do that.
I was actually approaching it,
Oh.
and then I saw 2 sleeping bags. I was like, oh, no.
Yeah.
That's not
You
cool.
could do it. You could ollie up that.
Yeah, he could for sure.
Yeah, you got ollie up.
Sure.
It's tough.
I was going to try your trick, but the guy was sleeping.
Listen,
so.
if
I was sleeping.
If Tony Hawk wants to switch flip manual to the courthouse stage, I will You got it, brother.
Take that.
All right,
It's
well,
all
next
you.
time.
Dude, Tony Hawk, again, thank you so much for stopping.
Fuck yeah.
Please, I hope you come back again and again and again. I hope you can come back
Thanks
one
for having
time
me.
when we have guests back in the studio. That'd be amazing.
I'll be ready.
Well,
Get some vaccines. Let's go.
let's do it, man. I'll
Here we
get
go.
one with Tony Hawk, bro. Tony Hawk, again. You're the man.
Thank you,
Fuck
guys.
yeah, man.
It was fun.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tony, man. That was awesome.
Tony Hawk, everybody, huh?